Welcome to the Intelligent Idea Pocket Podcast.
Hey, guys, welcome back once again to another installment of the Intelligent Idea Talkers podcast, for the week of December 14th, 2024, almost to 2025. Thanks for joining us. I'm your host, D.
This is Juice.
Zero.
Zero. Yeah, man, and we back. Back for episode something.
998,226.
Yeah.
998th installment.
You know what I'm saying?
It's all good. Yeah, man. So I guess we got a whole bevy of topics. A bevy. Think we're gonna kick it off with Marvel though?
Oops. Yeah. That's right. I know. So, Frank, you have mentioned that there were some like updates with the
Yes, sir.
the was it
Avengers Doomsday. Yeah. So basically, if you don't mind, so Avengers Doomsday is on the slate to be kind of like the season finale of the latest phase of Marvel movies, and we got a couple of tidbits of news recently, like in the past week or so, of actors that are returning and have confirmed their appearance in said Avengers Doomsday movie whenever it happens. So the first and foremost, we got Chris Evans confirming that he's coming back to Avengers Doomsday. Or I should say, first and foremost, we know RDJ, that huge announcement back at D23. But then Chris Evans confirmed that he's coming back to Avengers Doomsday. Now, we just saw him as Johnny Storm in Deadpool and Wolverine, and it's like, if he's coming back, who is he coming back as? Is he coming back as Cap, or is he coming back as Human Torch? Like, we don't know. Especially with the Fantastic Four film that would have been released by that point, so it could kind of be like an alternate reality type thing, because it seems like that's the way they're playing it. They're still kind of like hung up on the multiverse. Yeah, I know, Claudine. I don't know. Money. That's why they're coming back. Money.
I was thinking the exact same thing. That's why I was shaking my head, man.
You put enough zeros. You put enough zeros next to that paycheck. They'll come back. So Chris Evans,
also, what has Chris Evans been doing?
Nothing. He's retired. Well, I mean, he's been in some stuff. He's been in some stuff. He's retired. He's retired as Cap, I should say, or retired.
Yeah. But like, that's the thing about Marvel, especially when you get a role like that, it does kind of define you. You know?
Yeah, you get a little.
And like, he was in some stuff before, but it's always kind of the action. But he never. Yeah, man, he was Johnny Storm before, but Cap, I feel like is where he really shined.
Yeah,
he really stood out because
he was Captain America.
Yeah,
he was Cap. Like, so
yeah,
he really embodied that character.
And not that other motherfucker, but anyway. So Chris Evans confirmed that he's coming back, and so then it kind of like raised those questions, and then a few days later, actually, Benedict Cumberbatch confirmed that he's coming back as Doctor Strange, that he will be in Avengers.
Was that ever in question?
No, it wasn't in question, but it was just kind of like, hey, just in case you guys forgot, I'm gonna be in it too.
I haven't said that in a while.
And then there was also some background information that Elizabeth Olsen confirmed that she's coming back as Scarlet Witch in Avengers.
So she's not dead.
So exactly. So she's not dead. Or again, it could be an alternate universe type deal. They're still sticking with that multiverse plot line.
Hey, remind me again. What's the last we saw of her? Was that like
a rock fell on her or some shit?
Doctor Strange.
Right. Doctor Strange. Right. Yeah. So the end that we saw of Scarlet Witch.
Yeah. Oh, like a building collapsing on her doesn't
like
really seem sufficient for a warp. Like manipulating.
You saw a flash of red light. You saw a flash of red light before that happened. So she got the fuck out of there, probably. You know.
Yeah.
So it was never really like I don't
Oh,
know.
that wasn't her
Really
squishing.
believable.
You know, her character evolution from the first time we saw her in Avengers all the way to the end of that scene was just crazy. She probably had one of the better arcs in Marvel overall of any character.
Well, she had a fall.
Maybe Tony first, but just her character arc from where she started to where she ended, you were totally invested. You know, I'm talking about like including WandaVision and all that. Like, damn, she had a crazy arc.
Yeah. Claudine, yes, Chris Evans is in a new Christmas movie. It's called Red One. I haven't checked it out. I heard it was actually decent. And then Robert Downey Jr. is coming back.
Yeah, that's official.
He made that huge announcement, but he's not coming back as Iron Man. He's coming back as Doctor Doom. Or not coming back as Doctor Doom, but he's coming back, but he's playing a new character, which is, again, they're sticking with that multiverse plot line, so we'll see how that works out. I guess you missed that episode, Claudine, but yeah.
Yeah, we talked about it.
We talked all about it, and I said
I was shaking my head when Frank was bringing everything up. Even with Chris Evans, is like, you know, there's so many talented actors out there. These movies are like comic books. You know, you can kind of go any way you want. You don't have to revise actors to try to build excitement within the fan base. Where the fans are excited already. Like as soon as we hear a move, you know, an announcement about Avengers Doomsday, we're excited. You know, so to kind of bring back Chris Evans and Robert Downey Jr. even when they announced that, because we talked about it and it was like, all right, man, like you got there's so many different directions you can go.
I respectfully have to disagree, man. I feel like people are just looking for a reason to hate. You got to bring back the face. You got to bring back the faces they like. Because if you're bringing a new face, that shit's getting hate immediately.
But I mean, like that. It's and it's good to have the faith, but you got to admit, Marvel has a reputation or had a reputation to uphold, and they failed in multiple ways to uphold the level of quality that they brought to the table.
Comments on mine. Sorry.
No, you're good. So they failed to uphold that level of quality that they maintained through Phase 3, through Endgame. And, you know, while it's like one of those things like, yeah, they can bring new people, they can make it like kind of fresh. Like this is a smart move on their part, because bringing back the people that made them the big name that they are, like Robert Downey Jr. and the Russo brothers directing and Chris Evans as Cap and you know the like that's a smart move on their part. It's too risky on their end to take that risk. But anyway, getting back to the point, Marvel, this is why Marvel is making this type of move, because they want us to be like, hey, remember when we were great? You know, like, and
kind of
so
like
the
Spider-Man thing.
We're gonna, yeah, but I mean, Spider-Man was cheating, right? Like it's 20 years of nostalgia. 20 years of nostalgia they just put into one fucking movie, and it worked so fucking well. You know?
Yeah, like that was cheating. If cheating ever existed, that was rape.
But see,
even when they manipulated our emotions,
it worked so well because you had introduced a new character in Tom Holland, and then you brought back the old characters. So, like, what new character are you going to introduce in Doomsday that's going to invest us into Marvel all over again? Like, we've already seen Chris Evans and Robert Downey Jr. We know what they bring, but what else are you going to bring to the table in conjunction with those guys? You know what I mean? That's what I'm worried about. Is like,
well, that's that has a lot to do with the placement of the movie. Again, it's like at the end of like Phase 5, I guess, I don't know, or Phase 6, right?
I just feel like Endgame was such a send off, and it was a culmination of all this shit, and it was just, it's like, don't rehash the past. Like, you know, create new memories now. You know, that's what I'm worried about, man. I don't know. It's
what at the end of the day, it's always about the money, and they want to make the money.
Yeah.
And so bring it. And so Robert Downey Jr. fucking announcing, I said D23, it was at San Diego Comic-Con, when he was like, I'm back, but I'm Dr. Doom. And it's like, what? It's like, yo. So like again, at first I was like, yo, oh my God, this is amazing. And then I'm like, wait a minute.
Well, you know what?
You know?
What's needed to make that work is we need him to be Doomy, right? I think like what people are
We don't
anticipating, at
need him
least
to be
I
Tony
feel like what I
Stark.
feel like Claudine is anticipating is going to be fast talking Tony Stark just with the Doom mask on. Like we don't need that. We need a brooding,
Victor Von
dark,
Doom
possibly very scarred,
playing it differently.
unrecognizable performance. It's not going to be on the level of Tropic Thunder. You can never pull that off again. But we need something of that level of change.
I mean, if anybody
If you
is
came by that Joe
capable of
Black,
it,
That movie
if
was
anybody's
it was
capable of
funny.
it,
His part was funny, but it was
if
just like,
anybody's
how the hell
capable
did
of
this
it,
movie ever come out, bro? Like how? Like Robert Downey Jr. has to look back on that role and be like he's probably just like, fuck, man, I'm embarrassed.
no, man, he's like,
he's very appreciative of the role, and man, the black community has given him
we
so
gave
They have
him a
much
embraced it.
props.
pass.
They have embraced
Like
it. It's
we
weird.
back him.
We gave
It's
him
weird.
a pass.
Yeah, we
It's
gave him
weird.
a
Why?
pass. We gave him a
Because
pass.
he was
he was
playing he was effectively playing a racist.
It was a parody. It was a parody within a parody. It was very smart.
It was funny.
It was very smart, and it was still funny, right?
He
Like
played a white guy who didn't realize there was a problem playing a black guy.
playing a black guy in blackface.
The irony of that, the layers is just like, fine. Like, what the fuck?
I think that's the problem because he had the blackface. It's like, I don't know if that movie will ever. When did Tropic Thunder come out? I know we get off topic.
2009.
Yeah, it's just wow. Yeah,
I mean, you couldn't do it again. No, I agree. You get one time.
I'm still excited for Doomsday. I'm just worried that they need to give us something else to. They don't have a good track record recently. I know Juice just recently saw Thor: Love and Thunder. I guess we could get into that in maybe a few more minutes, but they don't have a great track record. I'm just worried that they're going to drop the ball on this, and they want us to play on our nostalgia. And I know we were talking about Spider-Man. That worked so well because we had Tom Holland, and he was different from, Andrew Garfield or, the other guys that played and Tobey Maguire. Yeah. But that movie was perfection. That was, if they're ever going to do anything close to that, they have to.
That was an algorithm working its peak.
It just was. It was.
Mm-hmm.
It was not one disappointing scene in that whole movie.
But let me say this. Yeah, like I feel manipulated, and I appreciate them for that, right? But I gotta say, man, like after watching Love and Thunder, I still haven't seen Wolverine yet. Wolverine and Deadpool yet.
Oh,
but that's already good. That's a good movie. But like,
my bad. I spoiled the Chris Evans thing. My bad.
It's fine. But like,
I thought you saw it by now. What the hell? My bad.
I'm gonna watch it this week again at some point eventually. Anyway, but like, I'm not as worried, guys. Like, I'm not like, look, Love and Thunder. Okay, I understand it's not a perfect movie, but for me, I don't know why, and my perspective may be tainted by hindsight or seeing it late. Or maybe not seeing it in theater, but like that was a engaging movie to me, man. Like it was fun, it was funny, it was visually great. Like that shit was visually great. The storyline made sense enough for a Thor movie. It made sense enough for a Thor movie, right? Like none of them made that much sense to me anyway. Like still, Thor is like C tier of all the heroes for me. But like for a Thor movie, I enjoyed the shit out of that jump. Like it was a fun movie, man. Like and so like if that's like their lowest bar, if that's the low bar, like I'm not really sure. I feel pretty confident going forward.
Okay.
Look, let's also point out, I know Juice just mentioned that it looked good. Marvel all their movies have looked good. I know they dropped the ball as far as the stories.
It was better than Quantumania.
Even Quantumania looked like $1 million. I mean, they always put their money on the screen.
I disagree.
Marvel's always good at that.
Oh, you said it looks better than Quantumania, or it was better than Quantumania? Both.
It was better than Quantumania.
I disagree.
Like when I think about Quantumania,
I think I like Quantumania better because Quantumania, like for its glaring flaws, To me, Quantumania had more cohesion, right? It had an actual villain with weight until the very end, but it had an actual villain with weight, and it was supposed to establish Kang as like the new big bad, right? So they actually, they started something deep there, you know, and I felt like with Gore the God Butcher, like he's supposed to be such an awesome fucking villain, and they wasted him. Completely wasted him.
So here, I feel like he needed a bigger role, yes, but he's also not like he's nobody's like Ultron, right? He's nobody's Thanos.
No, he's not.
So as far as like, so remember, like the villain in the last Thor was like,
and Ragnarok, Surtur.
Yeah, I feel like that's.
Oh no, actually,
like that's like a god.
Hela was the villain, but
like Surtur, like these are god tier. Like these are gods.
Yeah,
and like Thor's a god butcher, and he was murking guys. He was doing what god butchers do. He was butchering them up. So when he was out there butchering gods, everybody was shook. They went and holed themselves off in that little god world.
Yeah,
they were shook. They were shook.
They were shook.
But
and then he was compelling as a villain. I felt his story.
He was being
yes.
I felt his story being in agnostic. I was like on point with that. Him like needing help and his daughter dying, like that was like a high point, like that hit. And then like the fact that like in the end, like he saw the light in the end. Like it was just like the villain went through his like the acolyte went through his villain arc and came back to the end because it all comes down to his love. Like, and then Love and Thunder at the end when I find out what that's about. And Thor's a dad now? Come on, man. Like I don't know. Like maybe I had to be there at the time to like get it, but like
I think a lot of it is all about like moments in time, right? Like like if you had seen the movie right when it came out, you know, maybe your expectations would have been different. Maybe that's why me and Frank were so disappointed in it. And I wasn't disappointed in the movie. It looked good. Marvel always puts their money on screen, so the movies always look good.
Like that NetherRealm place.
I think where they dropped the ball for me was with Thor, with the character of Thor. You know, like he was so goofy and he didn't show the level of concern that a person who just helped save the universe. They didn't do a good job of tying all the trauma he had been through up to that point in that movie into that movie. You know, he was like, okay, I don't care anymore.
He was trauma the entire time. He was broken through the whole movie.
Marginally. When he did that split at the beginning of the movie to stop those things when he was with the Guardians of the Galaxy. Remember he did that split move? I knew it was over right there. I said, oh my God. They're gonna make this guy.
Is that what threw you off though? Because I feel like that 100% that moment
that was in the very beginning.
People off because that's the point that keeps getting referenced.
Bruh, the myriad other fights. Now imagine that moment throughout the rest of the movie, though. Like,
did you see that moment throughout the rest of the movie?
When you're sitting there in the moment,
he's not referencing that. He's referencing the fact that, and it's the point that I brought up on our chat. But like, it's the point of them going full throttle with comedy, right? Like going full throttle with comedy. Sure. They kind of wanted. They brought Thor into that light, and it was successful for Ragnarok, and it was successful for what followed.
Thoughts, because like Thor being brought into that light, Thor has always been the goofy guy.
No, he has not. No,
he has in Marvel.
No, in the movies, no. The first Thor, he was not goofy whatsoever.
Not at all. Yeah, not even in the second one.
The second movie, he was not goofy whatsoever. It was a little bit here and there, but it wasn't until Ragnarok.
Like I felt the entire time. I felt like
it wasn't until Ragnarok, and Ragnarok was a bit of a shock to the system because it was like they went like way more comedic than like anyone expected, but it worked.
Maybe I need to go back.
It did work because of Chris Hemsworth. He could carry that.
It was balanced, and yeah, that's true. it was unexpected, but we were like, oh shit, Chris Hemsworth is actually a funny guy, right?
Mhm.
Like he can deliver these lines. But
the whole thing I remember of Thor is the whole him being out of touch with the world he's in.
Yeah.
Therefore, he does goofy shit.
Yeah, like slamming his mug down in the beginning. Remember one of the first movies, he slammed his mug?
Not the whole movie. Because the first movie was played very Shakespearean the whole time, right? It was very serious, very dramatic, right? There was almost there was like maybe slight tinges of comedy, but it wasn't even coming from him. It was coming from like the supporting characters, like Darcy and even Jane at some points, right?
Even in the Avengers movies, he wasn't really funny. Like Age of Ultron, he was
the
more
second
serious.
movie. The second movie was about his mom. Was more about his mom and the dark world with the dark elves, and that was serious shit. With the ether taking over Jane, and like that was serious, right? Loki provided a bit of levity in that movie, but Thor for the most part was serious. Thor for the most part was serious, and not for nothing, those first two movies weren't great. The second one was really bad. The first movie was fine. The second movie was bad. It wasn't until Ragnarok where they kind of like they turned the lever up a little bit more on comedy, on levity.
Because he was rolling around with the Guardians.
That's where that was before Guardians, way before Guardians. That was before Infinity War. Remember? So
wait, which one was this one you're talking about?
Ragnarok, the third Thor movie.
The third one.
Yeah, they turned the lever up a little bit more on the comedy, on levity, and that worked. But they still kept the serious storyline of fucking Ragnarok, right? Destruction of Midgard and Asgard and the Seven Realms.
Hella, right? He lost his eye.
His sister, his sister was like, "I'm gonna bring about Ragnarok, and there's nothing you can do about it. You, my brother, you, my other brother, and my father. Y'all can't do shit about it." So there was a serious threat and a full god in Hela that he had to try to face, and at the same time, he's trying to save everyone. He's trying to save everyone in Asgard.
Hela was so badass.
Which is where Valkyrie comes in, and Carl Urban's character, I forgot his fucking name, but like it was like 60%. It was like 60% comedy, 40% serious. Love and Thunder.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. Maybe that's where I'm picking up. Because, like, for me, seeing Thor doing goofy shit, the stuff he was doing in Love and Thunder was like.
You felt it was very in character for him.
Yeah, it felt normal to me for Thor.
Because that's the direction they decided to go.
When I think of like Avengers, I think of him in like fucking Tony Stark, just like him just being obnoxious and out of place, and just being a brazen like himbo, like just being like just out of place, right? So he is in that way he's goofy. Like I don't know, I always perceived that as like because it always came through comically. Like he would do something that always seemed over the top.
So
yeah, but not today.
When he would talk to somebody, it's over the top. When he would do an action, it's way over the top. Like this is a goofy ass dude doing.
It has to do with perspective, but most of that was just more of like bewilderment on his part or confusion on his part, right? Like I think like you have to look at it from his eyes. He's not trying to be funny.
That's what makes it funny.
he's not trying to be funny, but like you have to understand, like he's coming from a place where it's like he's confused all the time because he's a man out of space and time, right? Like he's from a
world of magic.
Like he's from a very different place. So it's like it came across as a little more tragic than comedic. Right. And like he's always trying to find his way home. Any connection he has to home, he's all for it. Right. That's why he's still tight with Loki. He's tight with Heimdall. He was tight with like Valkyrie because Valkyrie was like a connection a new connection that he maintained. So it's like, to
Trying
me
to
it
find
came
his
across
place.
more tragic, but
you didn't feel that in
Thor
Love
wasn't
and Thunder.
No, Thor
Really?
wasn't. So the first two movies, Thor wasn't working. Like, it wasn't work. He wasn't working. They didn't know what to do with him, so they took a shot, and they had Taika Waititi direct a Thor movie, and they were like, Thor is not our strongest property, so whatever happens, happens. And it was a success, and they were like, oh shit. So Taika, you can do whatever you want. So they took that lever, that throttle from 60% for Love and Thunder, and they just like full fucking throttle on comedy. And it's 99% comedy.
It's not 99%.
It is not. Okay, 98.5% comedy.
Nope.
Context matters as well, right? Like,
there were like two serious moments in the entire movie. The beginning and the end. I have to watch it again. I gotta watch it again. In the middle, everything. I mean, it's fucking hilarious. There were a lot of funny shit, but of course,
like him and the hammer, like that was funny.
The hammer was also
funny. Like real.
I thought the goats were funny. I thought the goats were funny. I thought the hammer was funny. I thought there was a lot of funny stuff, but of course, stuff is gonna be funny if you do nothing but comedy. Something's gonna fucking work. Even a stop clock is right twice a day. So like. Go ahead,
but Gore was not funny. Gore was a serious
serious threat. No, he was funny too. He was a serious threat. But you remember the part with the kids? Remember the part with the kids? Yo, I thought he was gonna do some devious shit. I'm like, this is your moment. This is your moment to show us that you're truly a god butcher. You're truly an unfeeling. He's a human, is he not?
No, he's whatever species he is, but yeah, he's a normal.
Yeah. He's like a normal, but like I'm like, this is your moment. I would love to
see Gore versus Helen.
Well, he wasn't going to kill the kids.
Context matters.
I didn't think. I'm not gonna say that.
Look, think about when Ragnarok came out. We had Guardians of the Galaxy by then, the Avengers movies that came out, and then Ragnarok hit. So Marvel was in that time where they could do no wrong. You know what I mean? Like, so I think that's why the public and people were a little more willing to accept Ragnarok and that different take on Thor. It also helped to boost the popularity of that movie. Now look at when Love and Thunder came out. Marvel had dropped the ball a couple times. You're into this new phase, this post-Endgame, and now you're coming out with a movie with one of the core Avengers. So, when you go to the movies within those first couple of weeks after release, and you're sitting down and you want to see a serious movie about what the next steps that one of the members of the Avengers are taking, and the movie's all jokes, 90% jokes, and he's doing splits to stop rockets. 90. Like, it was disappointing. It was disappointing. It was disappointing for.
He shattered the glass temple on accident.
That's not the only part. Think about Russell Crowe's character. He comes in and he's like silly and skipping off the, and there's no hype. There's no build towards the next phase of the story. You know what I mean?
And to piggyback off of that, the comedy, the overuse of comedy means that the audience doesn't take anything that's going on seriously.
It was so hard to take anything seriously.
It was super hard to take anything seriously. It made it less believable because at every moment they're trying to get you to laugh. Hey, laugh at this, laugh at these goats, laugh at Mjolnir.
Well, to be fair, Jane was dying.
Yeah,
like you have this like huge,
but you don't take it seriously. You still don't take it seriously.
She died at the end. Like, here's the thing, right? Like,
even with his daughter at the end, it was like, is this serious?
I don't think they wanted to make a tragedy.
No,
they definitely.
They shouldn't have intended to make a full-blown comedy at the same time.
I don't think they did. I think the lady dying in meantime, right, through this entire endeavor,
that is tragic.
And him reflecting in their flashbacks on the moments they had together and why they split up
in different movies,
why Valkyrie's alone, and all these other things
in different movies,
in other movies. But here, him being broken, him not being able to connect, him feeling like this is Thor. I feel like this was Thor's movie finally coming full circle. He didn't come full circle before. Right, he needed effectively. He needed this movie to come full circle. Full circle.
I don't agree with that. I thought he came full circle at the end of Endgame. I thought Ragnarok,
full circle in Infinity War.
With Ragnarok, Infinity War, and Endgame, I thought his circle was complete.
But that's the issue because it wasn't right. And I feel like here, maybe for me, I feel like that's kind of like speaks to the level of like depression or loneliness people actually do feel, right? Like on the out, like here, the writer could say full circle, done, right? But they delved into it more, and then he also had to deal. Now we have to deal with this tragic loss of the woman he loves, right? Like through this entire movie, he's trying to figure that out. Not the whole movie, right? But when he finds out, she's also dealing with that, so we can't like neglect her role in this because she's in denial, right? So these are like some really heavy topics that they could like, and then you have gore, and then you like. I think that if I'm not a director, but like if I had to like guess, maybe what they were aiming for was they had this subject matter they had to deal with, but they wanted to make a good movie that didn't have people sobbing at the end. So you bring in levity, you bring in the kids, and you bring in the message of hope and the message of love, and you try to keep the light stuff light, right? When you have the moments to make a joke, they take it, and I don't know. I don't want to like speak for a director. I'm not making excuses because I don't know shit about any of this stuff. But it's like this could have been a really tragic movie without the levity.
Yeah,
really?
I mean, yeah.
So
maybe tragedy would have been better than what they did. You know what I mean? Like
I disagree,
maybe that would have been.
I feel like it would. I feel like middle ground is important here. Balance is important here. Everything that you said
was 50-50.
Yes, possibly true. Yeah, everything you said, yes, possibly true. But again, to the point of they went way too far with the comedy, to the point where all of these tragic points were swept under the rug, were missing. You didn't pay attention to that stuff. You kind of had to dig deep. You kind of had to dig deep and really look for that stuff to shine through because it was buried under all the fucking jokes.
I should watch it again. I'll just say
I refuse to watch that again.
I do need to watch
I really think
I watched it twice. I watched it twice. I'm good.
In theater.
No, in theater once, at home when it came on streaming one other time. Because I was just like, maybe it's just me. So I watched it again. I gave it a full watch, and I was like, it was even worse to me the second time.
That's wild, son.
Yeah.
I don't know. Okay, man. I don't know. For me, if that's like their lowest, if that's because I'm going into this joint assuming that's the worst movie they've ever made. Right?
I think Thor: The Dark World is the worst movie they ever made.
Another Thor.
I don't know. I don't. This wasn't the worst movie they ever made. It was just disappointing because of the time in which it came out.
I understand that point makes a lot of sense to me, D. Like
it was just a little disappointing.
People are thirsting for, like when Endgame ended, there's a void to fill, right?
And
it's arguable that any movie would have caught shit. So they threw out Thor.
Every movie they come out with,
whatever movie was coming out may have caught any kind of shit.
Every movie they come out with.
No, Spider-Man did not catch shit because it came out after Endgame.
We agree.
But they planted those seeds before Endgame.
But Spider-Man was a great fucking movie after Endgame.
You know what they had to do? They had to bring in 2 other Spider-Man friends. Look, we agreed at the beginning
of this. What did Endgame do? What did Endgame do?
No,
Endgame brought 10 years worth of characters in one fucking moment.
Sorry, it's different. That is not the same thing. That is not the same thing. It's bringing Tobey Maguire from our childhood.
It is not the same thing, but don't say that there is. So you're basically saying that Marvel does not have the capacity to make a good movie after Endgame? That's bullshit.
Oh, 100% they do. Yeah,
of course they do.
I didn't say that.
They just haven't, and that's why I think the disappointment for me came from Love and Thunder. You know, but
that's what I think. I think that whatever movie came out was going to bite the dirt.
I don't think so. I think just smart storytelling is where you win with this, man. Like there's, we've always said that every movie after Endgame has felt disjointed. It doesn't feel like anything's connected anymore as much as it was.
Interesting. That's exactly what I'm saying.
But that's an overall.
But that's another reason Thor: Love and Thunder was so disappointing. There's no, even to right now, that you cannot tell me what the next step in that story is. We don't.
2 minutes.
we don't care what the next step in that story is. You know what I mean? They didn't establish any stakes. Like Gore is gone. Thor has
gone.
Daughter,
Gore was not going to persist.
Like
all the villains die at the end of the individual movies.
I think it was more disappointing on the grand scale of this overall story, more so than just the jokes in the movie. I could have withstood
that's
the
what
jokes.
I'm talking about, D. That
I could have withstood the jokes if they would have gave
exactly
me something to hold on to at the end.
You're saying exactly what I'm saying is that, like, when you have the one-off hero movies, those are closed circuits, right? They may bleed out a little bit, and that's what the after credit scenes are for. But those are closed movies, essentially. This is rare. Not every individual hero movie is going to bleed out into the rest in a meaningful way, right? I think that's just how it is. So, like, when we were left with Endgame, and that was over, and we saw the culmination of this masterpiece, right? And I still can't count Spider-Man as part of that because Spider-Man was cheating. But I feel like whatever movie came after that, like, that's why I feel like Quantumania was kind of like not as good, because I'm still thinking in the terms of, like, how is this going to branch out into something major? But see, now, especially now that we know Jonathan Majors isn't going to work out,
I was just about to say
we're left back again into that pit.
Also, just to bring it back home to Doomsday and everything, like, that's why there's so much, like, what's going to happen here with Captain America and with Doomsday is because Marvel has felt disjointed. But we have to cut them some slack, because Juice just brought up Jonathan Majors. That threw a whole pivot in everything they wanted to do. You know what I mean?
Like, they decision they made. They didn't have to do that.
They had to pivot. You know what I mean? Because of what Jonathan Majors' legal situation. So maybe this is the best they could do. I would have gone for a whole reboot of everything and just brought in new characters, maybe a sprinkle of a nostalgic character here and there. I don't know how they're going to do with Robert Downey Jr. or with Chris Evans. Hopefully it works, but I just don't have faith that it will, right now, man. And Love and Thunder feeds into that. It feeds into my trepidation about trusting them right now. But I'm going to see it. I'm a mark. I'm going to see Captain America. I'm going to see Doomsday. So,
we didn't get to Captain America.
Yeah, we'll be here for it. Even with Captain America, I know reshoots are a common thing in the industry. But even with them having so many reshoots right now and the screen testing not going well, you're like, oh my God.
And the director leaving.
Marvel just feels so.
Look, let me just say about Cap. Let's be clear. My argument was never that the serum. In fact, that's the opposite of my argument. The serum. My argument was never that the serum makes Captain America. So when Sam's throws are weaker than Cap's, no shit. I feel like that's all I've ever been saying. My argument is exactly what Mackie put in that statement.
He knew better. Yeah. He knew better. He had to respond.
He said it's very different with the serum. You can fight anybody. When you don't have the serum, you have to be smart and engineer different ways of defeating enemies. With Sam, him being counselor, he uses more of his brains than Braun. He uses more of his wit than his fists. He's more of a friend to everyone. Look, real talk, like,
you better be a friend, because I'll whoop your ass if you got something smart to say. You ain't got no serum, so I'm about to whoop your ass.
That's what I'm saying. Bro. Like, he works differently, right? Like,
hey,
you guys think that the serum makes Captain America essentially?
That's
like I'm anti that. I don't believe in that.
I don't think it makes Captain America.
No, you guys are literally out here like, you need the serum.
Come on, son.
That's your argument. Like, your argument is that's not the argument. You can't do it.
No, I'm going to turn your own argument against you.
Okay.
What makes Captain America is worthiness, his heart. And
wait. Hold on. It's not worthiness.
Steve Rogers.
It's his heart.
Steve Rogers, his heart is his heart, his spirit, plus the serum. You could have all the heart you want. If he could have all the heart he wanted.
All right, what about the shield?
Serum, what about
is he still Captain America without the shield?
Sure.
No.
Yeah.
It's a symbol. It's a huge symbol. He's not Captain America without the shield. You
Okay.
tell me he loses the shield and that's it? No Cap? He can't
No,
be
he's
Captain
somebody
America?
else. He's somebody
I think
else.
the cap is the shield is so associated with the character. He has to
Of
have
course,
the shield.
it's a symbol. It's a symbol.
And I don't
It's
think
an
any of us
American
question
symbol.
Cap.
It's
None
how
of us
it's how,
question
Puerto
Cap.
Rican
and how he uses the shield, right?
Yeah.
Well,
Like
yes,
remember,
that
a
counts.
shield is a very unique weapon.
It is.
A shield is for defense,
Powered by
right?
the serum.
And
Okay.
offense. If
That's
you have
what I'm saying. All you gotta
Powered by
think is
the
that the serum is what makes Captain America.
well,
You guys think of heart and serum.
No.
You don't think it has
All I
anything to
ever
do with
said-
heart.
No, all I ever said was that the serum helps a great deal. A great deal.
That's
especially when
nice.
going against the Red Hulk and
That's
super
nice.
powered beings.
Going
Hey,
against
guess
all
what?
the villains.
Hey,
Going
they
against
about
all
to
the
do a
villains that
whole
Caps has.
because Sam can't fight superpowered people.
No.
Yeah, right. So
You
he has to
can't?
be smart.
Are
Yeah,
you
he has to be
serious?
smart.
Can't. No, he can't. No.
He has what are you
Well,
talking about?
Batman
He literally
pulls it off.
does.
Look,
Batman pulls it off. I think I'll give Sam some credit. Maybe he can pull it off. He
Sam is
won't be
not
able to
Batman.
defeat them.
Sam is not Batman.
Well, see, they
Sam
always
is
give
not
Batman out because
Batman.
Batman doesn't kill, so he never
Sam
truly
is
defeats
not
his enemy.
Batman.
You know what I
Sam
mean?
is
But
not Batman.
but
He's
the
not
point is
Batman. I
Batman
agree.
can go up against superpowered beings by using his wit and by being smart about the way he fights. I think Sam can pull that off. And I don't think any of us ever questioned Cap for giving Sam the shield. We all knew Sam was worthy of it. We just questioned his ability to use it.
No,
That's
yeah,
all.
Frank questions that.
I question it.
Frank questions the premise. Like he's not
All
down with the
fucking
premise
time.
of the transition. Like
Excuse me.
He thinks he made a mistake.
How many times have I fucking said that motherfucker? Like, no.
you
Yeah,
made, Frank
Bucky's
thinks
right
Zero
there.
thinks he made a mistake,
Yeah, Cap made a mistake.
Bucky was right there.
which is wild.
Fuck?
He didn't make a mistake. You know,
He didn't
Sam
make a
had the
mistake.
heart.
Dude,
Where
real
is it?
talk, Bucky is the craziest person to give the shield to. Like that would be a
assassin,
mistake.
bro.
Why?
Yeah, but one
Why?
one trigger word,
Why?
Bucky's gonna
Why
murder
is he
people.
Yeah,
You know?
Why is he the
first of all,
craziest person?
he was
Why is he
Bucky
the
has
craziest
psychological
person?
issues, which we see all the time.
Look, what was the word?
Constantly.
Asinine.
Mhm.
You're about to see
Buckle.
all of the psychological issues going
And
on.
how many years? And how many years? How many
Yeah,
years
yeah.
has Bucky?
How many
has
years?
Bucky been trying?
Was that 60?
Been trying to. Well, no. I'm talking about like since he showed up after Winter Soldier.
All it takes is for one villain to find that book of trigger words, and then they're in trouble, man. You got a Bucky on the loose, crazed with a shield. You know what I mean? I wouldn't have given Bucky the shield.
I
wouldn't get this nigga a gun for real talk. I wouldn't give Bucky a gun. That concerns me.
Bucky's a murderer.
Look, we know for a fact that was going to be the big setup, and I hate to say this, but I feel like, and I'm pretty sure this is true. Just read about it, but like I feel like this is straight up DEI taking over, because Bucky from Winter Soldier on, there was huge amounts of buildup to him getting the shield. If Cap were to ever fall in some way, or however Endgame ended, Bucky was supposed to get that shield. There was symbolism for many fucking movies. They were setting this up to happen. Bucky was supposed to get that goddamn shield. But hey, here comes DEI. Sam's right there. Let's give Sam the shield, because why the fuck not? Because he's a black guy.
Yo,
I think that has something to do with it.
That's not crazy at all.
That's
not crazy at all. That's the same. That's the same fucking reason why.
Wait. That is wild, son.
It's the same reason why Sam. Listen.
Captain America and Bucky have history.
Listen, it's the same
Falcon
reason.
And Captain America have had history as well.
It's the same reason. It's the same exact
Sam
reason
Wilson
why
didn't come out of nowhere.
I know he didn't come out of nowhere, but Sam.
So
Wilson
how was that
is
DEI?
Falcon. Sam Wilson is Falcon. This is the same reason why. It's the same reason why they made Sam Cap in the comics. It's the same fucking reason.
Because why the fuck couldn't he be?
Because he's a regular dude.
Sam has been Cap in the comics.
He's fucking
They're setting him up to
He's
fail.
literally flying.
But you can't say race doesn't play a part in a lot of these movies.
And he can fly.
I don't know. What the fuck else does it take to be a superhero?
He's not a superhero. He's a hero, but he's not a superhero. He doesn't have superpowers. He's assisted.
Yo, that's wild to say.
Batman's
He literally has a
Batman's
costume.
Not a superhero.
He's
Batman is a hero.
super. Oh, okay. Hold on, man. Hold on.
Batman is a superhero.
Semantics. I know what you mean, Frank. I know what you mean. But still, Batman
is Batman a superhero? Is Batman a superhero?
No, he is a hero.
You're wilding. That nigga's a superhero.
What superpowers does he have? That makes him
rich.
A superhero.
He's got billions of dollars.
He's rich. Yeah.
What superpowers that he emanates from his body?
He's not a metahuman.
Is he a?
That's what he's not.
I know what you're saying. I know what you're saying.
Makes him a superhero. Batman is a hero.
Is Joker a supervillain?
No. Joker is.
He's just a regular bad guy.
He's a villain.
He's a villain. Yeah. A lot of people are villains. Elon Musk is a villain.
He's not a super villain. He doesn't have superpowers.
Look, here's what makes somebody super, right? It's their actions they do. It's not about the powers. Look, this is baseline. Look, I'm sorry, guys. I'm sorry, guys. This is baseline comic book hero shit 101.
Dog.
Baseline comic book hero shit 101 is not about your fucking powers. It's about your heart and the ability to do the right thing.
No.
Through that.
It's your decisions. That is, I'm sorry, guys. I have consumed enough. We all consumed enough. We know that's baseline hero shit 101.
No. Hero.
Powers help, but there are
superhero shit 101. What makes you a superhero is you do super things.
No.
The doc out here laughing, but hey, this is real shit. No, you do amazing things.
I agree with you, dude.
You do amazing things. Sam can literally fly. He's got robotic wings. He's got we know now, he's got a super suit.
Because so what the fuck makes him? Tony Stark is not a superhero.
Fine, you know what I mean? Tony Stark is not a superhero.
Tony Stark is completely a superhero.
In a suit of armor.
That's crazy. Tony Stark is definitely a superhero. Frank, I'm sorry.
No,
this is not the hill.
Tony Stark went to another planet. No, if that ain't superhero shit, I don't know what's not. You know what I mean? Tony Stark is 100% a superhero.
Superhero is
mutants,
a hero.
Metahumans,
superpowers.
Gods.
Superheroes are heroes with superpowers.
Disagree.
Gotcha. I know what you're saying. I
understand what you're saying if you want to be technical, but that's not correct.
It's not a technicality.
It is a technicality.
Batman is one of the greatest heroes we've ever had. That's ever been written, ever been created. Yes. But he does not qualify as a superhero. Now, you want to go into the whole detail of what makes a hero, what makes a superhero is because of the things that you do and the feats that you do. If you want to qualify that as a superhero, I look at a superhero as someone with superpowers.
Okay, sure.
That's just semantics. I mean, it
feels like semantics. I mean, but okay.
You can go either way. You know what I mean? Yeah. But I guess, to bring it back home to Doomsday,
the timer's dead.
Remember at the end of Quantumania, and I know Ju said he liked Love and Thunder better than Quantumania when they had the arena full of Kangs. I haven't felt that level of excitement for any Marvel movie.
They snatched it from
after that point. I mean, which came out first? Did Love and Thunder come out or did Quantumania come out first?
Love and Thunder.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, yeah. I haven't felt that level of excitement. When I saw that arena full of Kangs, I'm like, wow, I mean, they can go anywhere, I mean, anything is possible here. And now we're regurgitating old characters to revise new roles so that you play on our nostalgia for these old characters. And you're trying to drill up the excitement. We'll see how Captain America goes, but,
I'm sorry, that's not DEI. This is all topic again, but that's not DEI. Sam didn't get the shield because of DEI.
Yeah,
that's wild.
Sam got the shield in the comics because of DEI. He got the shield in the movies, pretty sure, because of DEI. Race does play a trend.
Remember how everyone reacted when they saw the black Jedi for the first time, and there was this backlash. You know what I mean? Remember seeing all that online?
That is called racism.
Well, I think that plays a part in movies. I think it can go both ways. It can be good racism or bad, right? Like I think them giving Sam the shield was a show of, hey, even a black man can be Captain America. You know what I mean? It doesn't have to be a blonde-haired, blue-eyed white guy.
But dude, here's what the issue is, because you're reducing it to race. Remember, DEI is not a bad thing.
It's not a bad thing.
No.
All right. So when you say it like this, he only got this because of DI. You're playing into the right wing trope that DI is only because of your race or the way you look.
It's because of the way Marvel approached it.
It played a part.
Why does it matter?
In the comics,
it makes sense. I'm sorry, it makes sense though.
Look,
Bucky is broken. Bucky is effing broke.
Sure, but as someone who is almost on the same level as Steve, it makes more logical sense for him to get the shield than Sam.
Because of the serum, essentially. Because the serum is all that matters.
The serum is not all that matters.
Well, then that's all this is reducing down to, because you're taking the heart out of it if you think Bucky can have it.
Why do you think Bucky doesn't have the heart? Why do you think Bucky cannot redeem himself by being?
He can redeem himself, but until he gets it, then why doesn't he get the chance?
Then why can't he do it as Captain America?
Maybe in Thunderbolt. Look, we all know Bucky does get the shield for a while. Yes, the same way Sam gets a shield for a while. The same way the other fucker got the shield for a while. The crazy guy. Like, people get the shield for sometimes, right? The thing that's like DEI because the black guy gets it, that's crazy. Like, you get the shield for a while, they pass around. Niggas got spider powers out here.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody ain't Spider-Man. You know what I'm saying?
Look, in comics at around the same time that Sam got the shield, you had other characters being replaced by black characters. Wally West. It was not. No, I'm not going to say Miles.
No, Miles was Ultimates. Yeah.
No, Miles happened before like this trend, because Miles came out in 2011.
So all new, all different. Yeah, they had a lot of women and a lot of people of color. I know what you're talking about.
Yeah. So this all happened. So all of that happened around the same time because again, Black Lives Matter.
Because diversity, equity, inclusion is a good thing.
It's all about optics. How we're seen.
So I'm all for.
But the optics doesn't matter because white people hated it.
And also, I think I'm with you, Juice, because Sam was Cap in the comics, so there is a basis for Sam getting the shield. There's already a basis.
So the thing that fails is that I'm all for this, but then they start writing shitty stories. They start making these characters fucking like caricatures of themselves. As a result, they get this huge symbolic role put on them. And then they write these characters into oblivion, and then we never see them again.
So you're afraid that's going to happen with Sam?
Well, they don't always keep the powers, or don't always keep it. Like, it always gets handed off again.
What do you mean?
It gets handed off again. Like, they don't stay these... Like, Amadeus Cho is not the Hulk still.
Amadeus Cho, he is still a Hulk.
He is still the Hulk?
Yeah, not the Hulk.
He's a Hulk then, because there's like 30 of them. But the Hulk is back.
Yeah,
that's what I'm saying. Like, it always goes back to. It's always going to go back to the originals because this is how comic books work. There's all these cycles. They always come back.
Right, and to that point, why is it that? So
because it's boring to keep the same character all the time.
The white people hate it, but why is it that you cannot keep the person of color or the female and or both in that role and write good stories for them? Make them matter.
I don't know what stories are bad that you're saying. Like, I don't know, like the Sam Wilson comics. I found them very entertaining. I found them I liked it. And I really only picked them up because Sam, right? Because it was an interesting arc to see somebody who approaches the shield and the responsibility and the Mighty Avengers differently. Like, that was interesting to me.
But Sam was only Cap for a short time.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
The comics. He's not Cap anymore.
And then they did Secret Empire, which we need to do in MCU. Yeah. No, they need to do that, son. Especially now. I'm sorry. That's off topic.
But Sam, so the reason why Sam is not Cap any longer, you might have liked the books, but the books were not successful.
Yeah.
And we're talking like in general, right? Like not just with the demographic of readers or whatever, just in general. They didn't sell, they weren't successful.
That's not how we gauge good things though.
Oh, really?
No. Look here. That's not how I gauge good things.
Okay.
Okay, I'll say that then. I don't
So-
gauge
You're
good
talking
things
about in
whether
terms of
other
the
people
comic
like
book?
it.
The comic book
Huh?
sales?
Yeah, the comic book sales and the reception of the stories and the storylines in general put forth.
When did that come out? When did that come out? When was Sam?
Sam hasn't been capped for, I want to say 3 years now.
Yeah, it's like a few years.
I don't know if that's a good gauge to judge things by either. I mean, we're in a different day and time. This was like did he come out like in the 90s? Was he capped? You know, because I think comic book sales were a lot higher then. You know what I mean?
Bucky was capped in the 90s, right?
No.
There's a difference in engaged media. I don't think comic book sales are a good gauge of whether people liked it or not. You know what I mean?
But when was Bucky Captain
But
America?
I'm with you though, Frank. I want to see how
Bucky was Captain America recently.
I want to see how they use Sam.
He was actually Cap when Cap defected to Hydra.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I want to see how they use Sam in this movie going forward, because it'll be very interesting whether they're going to give him a good story.
Look,
right?
Don't get me wrong. I want this movie to do well, just for the sole fact is because we have a person of color in a lead role.
I'm with you, though, Frank.
This movie to do well.
Sounds like
I have a feeling it's not going to do well. Not from what I've been hearing about it.
It's kind of like
it's going to make money the first weekend, of course. It always does. But after that, the second week drop off, I'm looking out for that. I want to see what that is.
Like again, like
it's interesting.
I know it's hard for people to like disconnect themselves from like the hearsay and all this other stuff, but like I don't know, man. Like
it's like whenever you take a
I feel like
character
black roles don't
traditionally
often get the attention that they deserve. I feel like black characters are often targeted for hate. I feel like we get I feel like things that would normally be a successful story get smeared with the, hey, that was a bad story, and it's really just because there's a person of color in it.
Well, you also have to look at the character. When you take characters that were
not all the time, but I think I feel like personally there's significant. Like, I'm sorry, the Acolyte thing, that shit's still crazy to me.
Yeah, that was actually
you guys can't tell me that the Acolyte was not an intriguing, thrilling story. I don't know if you guys watched it, but like, even when I go back to that, John, I'm just like, all I want is to see more of that. But
it was good. The action was
the hate that show got.
But you also have to look at
because of the story.
You have to look at the race of the traditional character, right? Whenever you come out with a character who's traditionally one race and then you change the race, you're always going to have backlash. Look at the Little Mermaid. I mean, there were backlash because the Little Mermaid was black in the live action, but she wasn't traditionally black. She was white. You know what I mean? So of course there's going to be backlash to Sam taking up the mantle of Captain America, a traditionally white character in comics and movies, and changing him to black. And I want to see Frank is right.
They got a new
Are they going to give him a good story?
They got a black character to take the role when the white guy left.
That's true. That's not. They didn't change him. They like Sam is not Steve Rogers as a black person.
Well, right? obviously, right? But
the Little Mermaid is a fucking mermaid.
I'm going more with the point that what Frank said. Are they going to give him a smart story and continue the story, or are they just going to give him something kind of mediocre and write him out of the role of Captain America? You know what I mean?
And my question is,
going to make us care about him being Captain America? You know,
people be able to
able to tell whether it's a good story or not.
You can't say that doesn't play a role in people's consciousness.
It does,
and outside of the movie.
Yeah. This is America.
You know what I mean? Well, you know, like if there were rumors of them coming out with a black Superman movie. I remember this because it was a couple years ago. Black Superman. All right. Michael B. Jordan was supposed to play him. And how would that movie have been received? You know what I mean? Taking a traditionally white character in movies and comics and changing him over to black.
There is an Elseworlds black
Superman. And it could be vice versa, right? What if they came out with a white Blade movie?
He's not Kal-El,
you would think the same thing. Why would you make Blade white?
Yeah, it's somebody else. Even still, it doesn't matter.
There is an Elseworlds Superman that's black. It's a different character.
It wasn't going to be Clark Kent, traditional Clark Kent, but still, the character of Superman is traditionally a white male. You know what I mean? So, you know, it could go both ways. If they take a traditionally black character, change him to changing to white. You would still have the same level of backlash from.
That's the thing. That's the thing. You have there is the
play a part.
capacity.
I believe it does.
There is the capacity to really elevate the characters of color in roles as heroes, and I think there's only two examples I can think of where that's actually been very successful. I think Black Panther and the first Wonder Woman movie. I'm talking about movies. The first Wonder Woman movie. But I feel like
Wonder Woman movie?
Yeah, the first Wonder Woman movie.
You talking about the one in the 70s or the one with
Gal
Gadot? Okay, yeah. I'm about to say, damn, was a black person in the 70s one?
No. I'm talking about as female, like a female-led movie. It did get a ton of backlash, but it was also very well received, which is why they made the whatever the hell the second one was.
Mm-hmm.
But there's such a capacity to really elevate diversity and characters of color, but it's I feel like Marvel at the time and even up to now is just checking a box. Hey, look, we're inclusive, but then we don't really give a shit about the stories that we put forth for these characters.
So question then, is that an honest so if that's the case, if they have a black character just to have a black character, but they don't give it the support and they don't give it the structure that it needs, is that really an honest try?
Honest try.
Is that really an honest effort?
No.
Or do they
weren't going to give him anything?
Or do they take this movie with this new brown character and they throw it to an unknown director? Or they throw it to somebody, they take a gamble with it. They toss it to somebody, to a team who may be new in this industry, who they pull from somewhere else. They don't get their actual good I don't know, director. You know the fucking jargon for the industry. I don't. But they don't give it the actual support it needs to be good, right? Or is it just whenever they say, oh, it's just a bad story, then it's just a bad story? Because I feel like if they're not giving it the honest try, they're not giving it an honest push.
They're not.
Then it didn't.
Not in this case.
Then it doesn't count.
The interesting part with Sam is that
what happens is it gets smeared as saying, huh?
It counts to them because they checked the box.
The interesting part with Sam is that he does have equity in history, and they can use that going forward into this movie. It's not like you said. It's not like Sam came out of nowhere. He's been there. You know what I mean? When Cap handed him that shield at the end of Endgame, as an audience, we might not have agreed, Frank, but we understood. We understood. We was like, okay, Sam has been there.
Sam and Cap met in the second Captain America movie, right?
Sam has been his ride or die. He's been there with him.
Same time Bucky came in, right?
No, Bucky was in the first Captain America movie.
I mean, Winter Soldier, because we always talking about Winter Soldier. Bucky was.
Okay. I was about to disagree. I was like, oh shit, Frank's right. Yeah, he was in the first one. That's what he fucking thought was strange.
Right? But man, it was Winter Soldier. You know what I'm saying? Same time Winter Soldier came in that joint, right? This is
So you would hope because of the history of Sam's character in the MCU, the movies, they would give him a smart story and give him an honest try. But politics plays a role in these movies.
I said, I feel like we're running in circles, but I do hope that this movie is good. I do hope that this movie has the smart story that they're advertising and saying oh, it's a real political thriller. It's a lot like Winter Soldier, but I think
it'll have to be because they can't make it a superhero thriller.
I'm just fearful that if it doesn't make the money that it doesn't hit the mark that they want it to hit, because it's up to them. It's not up to us. Well, technically it's up to us because we pay to go see the movie, but I feel like if it doesn't hit the mark, then this is the end for Sam Wilson as Cap.
Oh,
this is the he's not going to stay Cap, guys. Look,
no.
Do I have to spoil?
You don't think
guys, so? Spoiler, guys. He's not going to be Cap for very long.
In the
Spoiler,
MCU.
guys. I'm letting you know. In the MCU, he's not going to be Cap. He might get an arc, right? He's not going to be just one movie. He's going to get an arc, but they're not going to keep him as Captain America. This is America, guys.
Yeah.
I see that very clearly. You guys thought he was going to be there for a long time?
I think Marvel has kind of gotten themselves into a corner, and there's a lot riding on this movie.
Bucky's going to get the shield.
I think as long as Marvel feels like they can check that box, then he's going to be Cap for as long as that lasts.
Yeah, I don't know. I might give him this movie. He might not be Cap in Doomsday. I don't know. I think it depends on how the movie goes. I think they're very fluid. You know, they're willing to change direction. So I don't think he'll be Cap.
Isn't that kind of part of the issue with them? They don't have a fucking overall story. But anyway.
It's 100% the issue, yeah.
All right, that's so we definitely fucking killed this topic twice. It's 10:30.
You know, hey, hopefully the movie does well, like Frank said, and all this will be nonsense, and we won't have to worry about this. You know, I just don't know if it will. You know, and reshoots don't help. So, but yeah, we'll see.
Speaking of nonsense, happens, I don't know how to segue that, but speaking of nonsense,
it's a whole lot of nonsense with this.
Apparently, Luigi's the hitman, man. So, I guess just to set up the story, over, what was it? I don't even know what date it was. Like, 2 weeks ago? Or so? Yeah, about 2 weeks ago. CEO of health company, United Healthcare.
United Healthcare.
I don't even have the guy's name.
Hang on, I got it.
I didn't bring up the story. I have the manifesto up, but I don't have the.
Do you think that manifesto is real?
I mean, I think it's legit because Brian
Thompson.
Yeah, Brian Thompson, CEO of United Healthcare, was assassinated. Like a real actual hit. I'm not gonna play the video here, but so there was a manhunt for days, essentially.
Yeah,
it was days. Yeah, trying to find out who had the audacity to kill this rich guy. And so the real issue about this story is not that it was assassination or that he was killed by a masked guy. I think who turned out to be Luigi, what's his name? Mangione.
Right?
Mangione. So this just sparked a lot of controversy and a lot of interest in the media, and I think just about throughout the internet, the media, because this was pretty much an equalizing strike again between the haves and the have-nots. I think that's kind of the way it's been perceived by most people, right? At least,
I don't know if it was
at least in the circles I've seen. I've been online. I'm not gonna speak for everybody, but the circles I've seen is this has been depicted as a justified, arguably justified. I mean, no murder is justified, but as an arguably justified hit from one person to one who was normally untouchable. Right.
Especially when the CEO was the CEO of a United Healthcare, an insurance company who they are known for the distrustfulness that they spread amongst the American people. There's always this disconnect between the haves and the have-nots, right? The 1% and the people who don't have. And he was the CEO for one of the largest insurance companies in America. It's just it came out of a movie, this guy who's rising up for the little people that wants to.
Real talk, it did feel like it came out of a movie.
Straight out of a movie. I mean,
the way the hit went down, the way he left
who
the scene
CEO was, what company he was CEO for. Yeah, I mean,
this could have been a setup for a bigger theme in a hero or some kind of movie.
And people are goofing on the hit and the McDonald's employee that snitched, that so-called snitched and
Yeah,
called the hotline.
Can we talk about that too? Because I think that's also like pretty like prevalent in all of this, right? Like the fact that
What you
she
mean?
you guys know about the follow up with the McDonald's employee, right? Like she,
Follow up? No.
well, no, so she recognized the guy, she called it in, and he got arrested or whatever, but she got fired for calling that in.
What?
And also
Wow.
on top of that, you guys know that there was the $60,000 reward,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. Those are reward. That's why I thought she called in.
So technically, but the thing is, she called the police.
She called 911,
and she was supposed to call the FBI.
You're supposed to call the hotline.
I'm like
the
what the fuck?
Yeah.
So now she's probably not eligible for the $60,000 reward, and she lost her.
What the fuck?
But optics everything. So with a company like McDonald's, being one of the largest corporations in America, they probably didn't want to have that kind of publicity. It's probably easier for them to fire her instead of having her employed, because also she's going to turn into a semi-celebrity, right? People will come there to see her, and it'll bring,
Well, the thing is, the reason they fired her is because she made a personal call on her work time. That's the only reason.
Dude. Look, that's
the reason
why she got fired.
You want to know why that guy was assassinated? It's shit like this. Shit like that is why that CEO got assassinated. It's shit, technicality, bullshit like that. I don't like that she called and she snitched on my boy. You got my boy, but
well,
I don't even know this dude. I don't know.
He was a murderer. He was a murderer at the end of the day.
I know this murderer, but I'm mad. Like the fact that she called and snitched on in a way, it's kind of like karma, but still, it's just like it's bullshit technicality. I'm denying your claim. You didn't do this file. You didn't file this exactly this way. So no money for you type bullshit that got this nigga murked. That's what happened, son.
And Claudine, that's a good comment. Wendy's and Burger King went in on McDonald's.
What?
Because it's all about corporate wars, right? Like it is, man.
Wow.
It's all about corporate wars.
Well, because the general issue is because it's like,
if she worked for Burger King, they would have fired her as well. They would have had the same exact response.
We don't know. Alternate reality type deal. But like the another issue that's coming up is like, again, this is like based on the McDonald's employee, is like there are people who are like on either side. Like there are people who are telling her like, man, like you a snitch. You deserved what you got. You deserve to be fired, and I hope you don't get that money. And then there are people on the other side saying like you did the right thing. You should be entitled to that money. You shouldn't have lost your job on a technicality.
I'm on both of those sides. I'm on both. I don't think she is entitled to that money, and fuck her for calling them in.
I mean, like
I'm on both sides of this. I'm right on the fence. Like, that's some bullshit.
Well, try to
pay her.
Devil's advocate. Try to think of it this way: this man just killed a man in broad daylight, in public, in front of people. He comes walking into McDonald's. You recognize this man. What the fuck do you think might happen?
Right, he's a murderer. I gotta call.
It's just frying his bag. Your head on over. You be like,
I don't think you.
Nah, bro. Nah, come on. I think what also hurts is that video, like the visceralness of that video, him being unsuspecting and being shot in the back. I think we can all kind of identify with that, because it could have been us walking down the street, right? Like it could have been us unsuspecting and somebody comes up and shoots us in the back. You know what I mean?
Well,
like your basic humanity gets triggered when you see someone murdered on video, right? But it just so happens that this guy works for a company who has spread pain and suffering to hundreds of thousands of people, denying them health coverage. You know what I mean? And we all know that the health coverage industry in this country is money driven. It's not about providing adequate health care for people. It's about the bottom line, and he is the CEO. His whole role is to increase shareholder value, right? Like, so like he cares about the money. You know what I mean? It's like the little guy versus the big corporation, and which is why we're on Mangione's side symbolically. We understand where he was coming from in this, but at the end of the day, he's still a murderer, bro. I gotta call the police.
Let me say, like, so I'm just gonna read this from his manifesto here, right? I'm just gonna read this, y'all. He says, where is it? A reminder: the U.S. has the -- most expensive healthcare system in the world. Yet we rate roughly 42 in life expectancy. The United States is the largest. United is the largest company in the U.S. by market cap, behind only Apple, Google, Walmart. It has grown and grown, but our life expectancy, no. The reality is that these blanks have simply gotten too powerful, and they continue to abuse our country for immense profit because the American public has allowed them to get away with it. He says, obviously, the power is more complex. So anyway, he pretty much just goes in, pretty much saying what you were saying. Essentially, it's just like the United, and not just United, but the American healthcare system is so like money driven, so corrupt,
about
and that
money.
they leave people to die for profit. And like, and that him doing this, he even in this thing, he says this was fairly trivial. Right? He starts off, look, this is a trivial thing. Like, he did this because he just felt like he had to. He was like, this is trivial. But he had to make a statement. It felt like, you know, like, you're right. He is a murderer, right? But at the same time, it's like,
Brian
Wolverine,
Thompson has
you know what I'm saying? Like,
murdered people.
Look, if you stab the right people, people are willing to give you a pass. Like, and this guy, Brian Thompson, whatever.
Brian Thompson, yeah.
Yeah, like this guy was apparently, I don't know if you guys have heard, but like apparently they had like they're in the middle of a lawsuit. He had dumped like a bunch of stock.
Insider trading, yeah.
He had employed an algorithm that was denying people claims, like an AI algorithm denying people claims. Like this guy,
he was murdering.
You say he was working for the company, and sure he was, because the corporation, the structure is the problem, but he was all in on that structure.
You don't get to be CEO unless you're all in.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Yeah, he didn't care. Brian Thompson didn't care.
You get to be CEO because you made their profits bigger.
Brian Thompson did not care about the people he was denying coverage to, so that's why we don't feel bad for him. You know,
and it's crazy because like, yeah. Like,
I mean, you feel bad for his children and his wife and his family.
Everybody's like, yeah, screw that guy, man. Like, it's unfortunate for his family. I feel bad for his family, right? Like, it's a like, you know, you don't ever want to have to deal with that, like losing a loved one. But like, man, say you find out that your loved one was like responsible for like hundreds of thousands of deaths.
I think his family knew, and they didn't care.
They didn't know. They probably didn't know.
They're part of the upper class. You know, their problems
private
are disconnected
schools and
from
all kinds of good shit.
The customers of United Healthcare. You know what I mean? Like when Brian Thompson's family needs healthcare, they get it. Yeah. You know what I mean? There's no discrepancy there. You know, when Brian Thompson needed healthcare, he got it. You know, so his mentality was totally separated from the customers of United Healthcare. You know, so you have a hard time feeling bad for this guy. You do, but I think the video changes it, man. Like the video, whenever we see stuff on video, it's just like your humanity gets triggered, bro. It just does. You know, you don't want to see people murdered or die on video.
I've only watched it once, so.
And the cowardly way, you shot him in the back. Like, come on, we all know that's a cowardly way to shoot somebody. But I guess if you're going to assassinate someone, you don't care about how it looks. You know, you're there to assassinate them. You know.
I mean, do you think he looked at people in the face of the claims he denied?
Yeah, right.
It's like he shot them in the back.
Didn't even
read.
They were
just a number on the sheet.
Nah, we're good. It's gonna cost too much.
I mean, it's always messed up. It's hard to like this does bring in a moral conundrum, right? Because we're in the moment, like we're in the midst. Like we think of Robin Hood, right? Stealing is bad. Stealing is not a good thing. It's like you should be punished if you steal, you rob, you do stuff like that. Until
You steal from the
rich.
people.
You steal from the rich and you give it to those people who they're exploiting. He stole from royalty.
I was watching
and he was
somebody
given to
who
their
was saying
subjects.
that, a lot of
it
the
seems fair. Yeah, right.
A lot of the wealthier people are kind of surprised about this. How could this happen? Why would he do this? Where everybody who's not quote unquote wealthy, who's had someone who's had medical issues and had trouble getting coverage, completely understand why he would do this. I mean, there's just such a disconnect between the haves and the have-nots. Like there has to be some kind of systemic change, especially within the healthcare system, to where I'm surprised this doesn't happen more. To be honest with you, I'm shocked that this doesn't happen more. And if this doesn't happen
It'll probably never happen again.
I would be shocked if it never happened again. I mean, it something has to change. You can't keep taking from people without people fighting back. You know what I mean? When you don't have shit to lose. I mean, this guy probably had nothing to lose. Apparently, he has some trust fund from his grandmother that he might miss out on now. I was hearing about.
Yeah,
the man
in prison, so he's gonna miss out on a lot.
Yeah, he's not. He's in prison now.
He ain't worried about the trust fund at this point.
Which is ridiculous. I'm like, it's crazy. This whole scenario sounds like something out of a movie, man. All right, so I'm trying to look up Brian Thompson's net worth at the time of his death.
One thing I wanted to point out was that, so I don't feel like this is something we're going to see probably again. I mean, not that I want it to happen or whatever. If it did happen again, I'll probably be in the same boat. But the goal for these rich guys, man, for the reason that they're coming out with these Tesla trucks and they're always advertising these new bulletproof cars that are extra rich. The vibe is they know what they're doing and they setting up Elysium. They trying to set up the untouchable place.
Yeah.
Right?
Elysium,
you know what I'm saying? I feel like that's their goal. They're going to have security now.
Yeah.
Oh, 100%.
And everybody...
It's going to increase the response and security for the haves, for sure.
Yeah, again, that's nothing for them, right? That's pennies.
Yeah, that's easy. That's easy.
That's just
so. Brian Thompson's net worth was estimated to be $42.9 million at the time of his death. This figure includes more than 72,800 units of United Healthcare Group stock, along with over 82,300 stock options that he had recently sold, valued at over $21 million. So a lot of that personal wealth was from that insider trading issue that you had mentioned, Juice, that they had dumped a bunch of stock before an investigation that had just recently happened. So he wasn't overly wealthy, but still one of the haves. And I bet you whenever he needed healthcare, his family needed healthcare, they got it.
And it's kind of more about what he represented, even than him just being rich.
Exactly.
Right.
Exactly. More so than how rich he was. Yeah. What he represented. How many people did he murder with the stroke of a pen? He might not have pulled the trigger directly, but his overall purpose was to increase the value of United Healthcare, not to provide great healthcare for their customers, and that's the way capitalism works. It's is make more money next year than you did this year at all costs.
And
I don't think that's how
and what can you do to increase your bottom line?
Well, how can we increase profits?
But is that all capitalism is? Because capitalism, I don't feel like that defines capitalism.
But when you operate a healthcare company or an insurance company inside of the capitalist structure, when the point is for a healthcare company to provide adequate healthcare to its people, you have to prioritize profits or healthcare for people. And he prioritized profits and not healthcare. So that's where the disconnect comes from, man. It's like you said, it's like a Robin Hood kind of deal. We kind of feel for this guy, Mangione, because he is like a Robin Hood. But, at the end of the day, he's a murderer, the murderer. So, you have to bring him to justice, He has to be brought to justice, regardless.
Yeah, capitalism is just, according to Google AI, whatever. Here, dictionary. An economic or political system in which a country's trade and industry are controlled by private owners for a profit.
United Healthcare. It's not about providing adequate healthcare to people. It's about controlling a company. And it's an insurance company. What's more surefire than insurance companies, bro? Like, you pay car insurance, you pay health
here's
insurance.
the thing, right? Because a lot of this is mandated, right? So healthcare is one of those things, right, where you have to have it or you die.
Right.
Car insurance is one of those things where the state will mandate you have insurance or you can't drive, right? Like, you have like these things that are like mandated. So when you have something that's like that, it gives an unfair advantage. And so, look, it all comes down to like the system is rigged. We know this, and there's no real means to change it. You're not gonna like this assassination was like kind of a catharsis in a way, but it's not gonna solve the problem because we can't assassinate all of them.
No, not
right.
100%.
You can't get them all. Right.
Somebody
it's the age old like cut one head off.
Yeah, exactly. Like the CEOs, like the owners of that of United Healthcare. This guy died, and they're like, "Oh no, we really like Brian."
All right, Jim, you go ahead.
All these resumes came in.
Hey, why you gotta be Jim, man? All right, Jim.
All right, Jim, go ahead and step in.
Through the resumes, like, oh,
yeah,
Michael McNicholson, right? It was just name it. I don't know.
They found out he got shot. Said, "Damn, we really like
Brian. Damn, they got him."
Send him some flowers, send him some cocaine or something.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying?
Weird even joking about his death. It sucks because it's like he's a human being, but
they probably even like this. But like, you know what I'm saying, like, but it's just like,
but it's true. Like, how many lives was he responsible for ending?
Indirectly, exactly. Yeah, yeah.
So it's just part of the insurance game. It's crazy. The insurance is fucking crazy. It's like, how is it that like we are supposed to predict how often we get sick every year in order to choose to pay for what insurance that we get because it's mandated? Racket. It's fucking crazy.
It is a racket.
You have a better chance of gambling.
You do.
Gambling than like you do. Like it is like it's and you know the really and here's why I keep saying it's a systemic thing, right? It's because everybody knows it.
Everyone knows it.
Every single person is aware and knows that this is a scam.
But unfortunately,
from the CEOs to the politicians to the guy next door.
Fortunately, the 99% can't do anything about it.
Well, somebody else pointed out
it's really difficult for the 99% to do.
Somebody else pointed out that no systemic change that has truly ever happened in history where there was a large transfer of wealth from the people who have to the people who don't has ever been achieved without violence. You know, there's always going to be a violent moment. You know, that's the only way you achieve true change when, you know, the masses have their foot on their neck, right? Like there's always and whenever you have a revolution, when there's a massive transfer of wealth, there's always violence. There's never a peaceful protest.
I don't think this is that though. Unfortunately,
it's going to be harder.
This isn't that.
But I think this is symbolic of that. I think this is symbolic of the people who do not have anything taking a stand against the people who do. I think it's 100% symbolic of that, which is why people are willing to give Luigi Mangione a pass on this. And, you know, joke about how the person at McDonald's snitched on him and all that, you know? First of all, what the hell was he doing at the McDonald's, man? You just murdered the CEO. Like, what are you doing?
I know,
like,
man. And
you need to get as far away from New York as possible.
He was hungry.
Yeah, he was hungry.
I'm sorry.
Everybody gets hungry.
He was clear, son.
Yeah, he was good.
All he had to do was toss the gun.
Right, good. And didn't he say he had it in his bag? Was a 3D printed gun?
Yeah, just toss that on the river.
Yeah,
they never found it. It was a bit.
Why did he still have that?
Probably a trophy. He did some crazy.
Like he
was a young dude.
He's not smart, man.
I'm sorry.
He's not smart, man.
Look, the fact that he was able to get away as far as he did, I don't know. That was. But here, let me. What I want to say. So we're talking about like, you know, how the rich are going to respond. This came out. Bomb charged with terrorism for health insurance threat. I don't know if you heard about this. A 40-year-old
Florida?
Florida mother of three
Yeah,
accused of threatening Blue Cross Blue Shield after being denied a medical claim Tuesday is being charged with threats to conduct a mass shooting or an act of terrorism,
What?
according to the police department. The quote she said is the woman on a phone
She
call
read what was written on the bullets.
said delayed denied the pose according to the
Mhm.
affidavit and told the company that you people are next.
Which is
So
a
they
little
charged her with
strange that
terrorism.
It's a little strange that he wrote something on the shell casings. I mean, that's why I said this sounds like a movie, because like there also is a possibility that Brian Thompson was taken out. You know what I mean? There is the possibility that
I
this
thought
guy
that
didn't
too
act on his
until they
own.
caught him.
Yeah, but you always need a scapegoat. You know what I mean? You always need a guy to take the fall. You know what I mean? So
No, I think this guy is pretty much down because like he's like, remember he was like yelling like, well, he
yeah, when
was
they took
yelling
him
about
in, they
like the
arrested him.
American
Yeah.
people are too,
Mhm.
yeah. You know, I don't think he's like a scapegoat. I'm pretty sure he'll be like, yeah, I did that shit.
I don't believe so either, but it's possible. It's possible. I mean, I think
But,
the whole visceral part of it is seeing him on the camera sneak out from behind that car, pull out a gun and shoot that man in the back. That's the part that you kind of can't forgive. You know, you're a murderer, bro. Like, I get it. You're kind of a modern day Robin Hood, but you're a
it's all in the
murderer.
past.
Yeah, I got it. And see, that's the jokey part that we
don't even worry
that's why
about
we
it.
sympathize with that's why we sympathize
All
with Man
is
Jones,
forgiven.
right?
Like, he's dead. Like,
We sympathize
Brian's
with him
dead.
because
Brian's
we know.
I mean, look, if he had shot like a random dude, if he look, hey, Daniel Penny just got off with choking the Neely to death, choking him out to death on the subway. They just let his ass go. He's fine. He's nothing. I feel bad for that situation. That guy had mental health issues, and he was in the subway, and he was demanding food, and this guy choked him to death, and they gave him nothing, right? Nothing. Let him go. So I feel bad for that. I don't feel bad for this dude, like Thompson. I don't. Like, it's unfortunate that it happened.
Definitely is hard.
But maybe, no, let me just chill.
Brian Thompson would have denied a claim to me 100 times out of 101. You know what I mean? Like, Brian Thompson wouldn't have gave a shit about me, you know, but it's just seeing him murdered on camera trigger something, you know, and I think it should trigger something
for his mother who's being charged with terrorism. In all of us.
There's no way you can look at that video. There's no way you can look at that video, see that first bullet strike him, and see him fall against the wall and not feel something as a human being. Like, damn, you just killed that guy. Like, broad daylight. Woman walking by. There was another woman walking by in the video. You know what I mean? Like, that woman was probably scared. Oh shit, that guy's gonna turn the gun on me. You know. So it's just it's the video is what makes it hard. You know, but we understand, man. I like what you said. A modern day Robin Hood. He's kind of like a Robin Hood, man. And you know.
So I just wanted to talk about the mom real quick though. I just wanted to say the it's a clear overcharge according to her attorney, like the fact that they're charging her with straight up terrorism. And this is how the rich are responding, right? Like, remember, the police are not really here to protect people. They're here to protect power, right? So as soon as people start getting uppity, as soon as people start fighting back, they're gonna start sinking the cops on people, right? So we're talking about how are we gonna change the system? Like, I think it just has a break. Like, it's if Trump actually undoes the ACA, which is like the smallest band-aid on a gushing wound, we may see some pivotal changes, guys. I'm just saying. We'll see. Anyway.
Yeah.
It is 11 o'clock.
I'm good.
You know what's also funny is that that Brian Thompson was on the way to an investor conference before he got killed. Is like the timing of it is also why I said it could be that this guy wasn't working alone. You know what I mean? Like
he knew where he was. He knew his
he
movements.
knew where he was going. He must have staked out. Like, how would he have the information to get to Brian Thompson on his own? You know what I mean? Like,
I mean, the hitman nickname is not just a nickname. I'm pretty sure, as a hitman, at least you know how to do your job.
I don't know. It's all just a little on the nose.
Did a hit.
It sounds like something straight out of a movie. I wouldn't be surprised if this is a movie in a couple years. I wouldn't be surprised. This was like a Lifetime movie or something.
The Apprentice. I think that got cleared to come out.
The Apprentice?
Oh, the Donald Trump movie with your boy.
Oh shit! Really?
I was thinking to say that.
I think so.
Apprentice. What the?
I listened to a segment on it earlier. I don't know. I didn't check the date of the video though, so it might be old.
Yeah, man. Well,
film.
Hey,
with your boy Sebastian Stan.
Oh God. Okay.
Yeah, but this whole thing is just funny. It just highlights the resentment
October
towards
11th,
the healthcare industry.
It already came out. Sorry.
It just highlights the resentment towards the healthcare industry in America, and I'm with you guys. I don't think this is going to affect any real change, but it definitely puts the haves on standby. That damn, maybe this shit is hitting a crucial point where, like, something has to happen. I think these guys, I mean, $42.9 million net worth, they are totally disconnected from the problems of the everyday customer of United Healthcare, of the everyday American, right? Juice just brought up Donald Trump. It's hard. How do people not understand that Donald Trump does not have the poorest Americans' best interest at heart? Donald Trump is not poor. He doesn't work he works for his constituents. He has to serve the people that got him in office. Donald Trump is a rich man. They don't have your best interest at heart, bro. And even down to the healthcare system, that's something that we pay for through taxes, right? Like when you pay insurance, you're paying for this healthcare system that does not serve you. It does not have your best interest at heart. I think it's putting all of them on notice, and it's not going to affect change. But I think what Frank said is going to tighten up security. I think you'll see robots, you'll see Tesla bots out there and everything, man. Next time, man. Where was this guy's security? Like, he was just out there on the streets by himself, $42.9 million net worth.
Caught his ass slipping.
You're right. Definitely caught him slipping. Wouldn't you have security? Somebody there with you? A driver of the car? Was he driving himself?
I mean, he's probably never even... Look, nobody knew who this guy was. I didn't know who the fuck Brian Thompson was. Nobody ever heard of Brian. Look, we know Elon Musk because he's a psycho, and we know Trump because he's president. He's president. We don't normally know these billionaires and millionaires. We knew Peter Thiel because he's like, unless they want us to know who they are, those are the guys who have security who want to be in the public eye. There's so many who stand next to you at a Starbucks, and you would never know.
Yeah, you're right.
Especially living in Fairfax. What?
Even Brian Thompson, like in that video, he looked like a regular Joe Schmo. I didn't say anything.
Like they dress tacky, they don't dress like.
He dressed like a regular guy. Yeah, he dressed like.
You know what I'm saying? They don't dress.
Which is weird. Like, how would this guy know who he was? Like, why would he specifically target Brian Thompson? Why not someone else that's on the board of directors for United Healthcare or something? Why?
Because he's the CEO. The CEO.
Yeah.
It's the trick. He probably thought that by taking out the CEO, it's again like you're cutting off the head, and so it's like it's going to have a trickle down effect of affecting change throughout the entire. It didn't do anything, but I don't think he thought that. General idea. I think that was a general idea that he thought, like targeting him specifically. Maybe he thought that it would affect some sort of change within.
He probably 100% thought that, yeah.
Yeah, I think he's like, his manifesto seems pretty cogent, and like he was just like, look, this is a petty act. Like,
never mind. That's right. That's right. I forgot he had a manifesto.
Yeah, he's just like, look, man, like this is all they're fucking screwing us over. I did this because I had to do it.
Because I can.
He's like, he starts off, feds, I'll keep it short because I do respect what you do for our country. Save you a lengthy investigation. I state plainly that I wasn't working with anyone. This is fairly trivial. Some elementary, He pretty much lists his skills: elementary social engineering, basic CAD, a lot of patience.
Mm-hmm.
He was like, I mean, look, I
scoped this motherfucker out for weeks before that.
Yeah, he was like, fuck this guy, like in particular. So I took him out. But man, I don't know.
Maybe it hasn't come out. Maybe it's more personal. You know, like maybe Brian Thompson denied a claim for him, and then
I think he did. He had
back problems. They said, right?
Yeah. There was a whole thing about him having back problems, and like they said they matched him with a Reddit thread where he was like trying to find somebody to do surgery on his back, but they kept denying his claims to get the surgery done, so he couldn't get it, and he had some like severe like lower back, like it was like a slip disc or something that he had to have surgery for, and then it also was something with his mom as well. I don't know. I don't know the details on it, but like no, this guy, and that's another thing. We gotta let Frank go.
No. I'm good. I'm good. I'm good till like 11:30. So let's
all right. So like the other thing is like this is the guy who I feel like the industry is walking on like a shaky ground because this is a well-off white guy, right? Like lower class poor people who can barely afford healthcare. Like this guy has a trust fund, right? Like he comes from money. He's educated. He has skills. He had a pretty good life as far as I'm aware.
It's not even like traveling. He's trash white guy.
He traveled to Japan and came back. Right. He had a good life, and he felt he had to be the one to do this. You get enough,
which to me sparks a level of
white rich people,
and sparks a level of craziness in him. He's a little crazy.
Yeah, you only need a few of those to spark change. We need a whole movement of black people to get rights, right?
For all the
points
that you pointed out,
white people.
For all the points you pointed out about him, I think he's a little crazy. He's a little nutty, like this guy Luigi Mangione.
Back pain will do that to you. I don't know if you ever pulled anything in your back, but that should do it to you.
Yeah, but still, for him to be that well off and to be that educated and to be that kind of, pampered as a youth, to have a trust fund and all that, and for him to feel that he had to be the one to do this, to murder someone in broad daylight, to try to make a political statement or whatever kind of statement he wanted to make, he's a little nutty. You know what I mean? I wouldn't trust this motherfucker. Like I wouldn't want to be in a room with him by myself.
You say he's nutty, maybe, but was he wrong?
No, he wasn't wrong. I think that's why everybody, like I said, he's kind of like a Robin Hood.
How crazy are we all?
The idea to murder someone in broad daylight is wrong.
It wasn't broad daylight. It was very early in the morning.
It was wrong, bro. Because that could have been he could have missed and hit that lady that was walking next to Brian Thompson. You know what I mean? Like it's very dangerous for you to dangerous for you to 3D print a gun and then discharge it in public to kill someone in a public space. I mean, you got to be nutty to even think of that in the first place. But for him to think that he's the one that should be the one to do it, I wouldn't turn my back on this motherfucker if I was the one in the room with him. Like I want to see you in front of me at all times, because they'll pull out one of them little, springs from his watch and choke your ass or something, man. Yeah, he's a little crazy. He's a little crazy.
Look, if Batman was doing this, I think he would be a bigger hero.
I think
Batman would have never killed him.
I think there's a certain level of morality that it's kind of I think it was Juice that said it's a conundrum, right? Yeah. It's like he is a murderer, but
not good.
He murdered a
bad guy that murdered
a great person. So
it's like an executioner is the murderer.
That's why it's so.
But if you murder a murderer,
that's why it's so much. That's why it's so much easier to kind of like joke about it, even though it's still wrong too. But it's like it's so much easier to just joke about it. It's like because
he only killed one guy. He killed more.
Look at the company he was CEO for. He indirectly murdered people for a living.
How many people did he possibly save for a little while?
For a little while.
That's some comic book, that's some fucking revenge movie type. Justifications like, look, I'm gonna kill all these guys because arguably I will save more by killing them.
The needs of the many.
What happens if I don't kill them? They're gonna kill others.
He's gonna keep killing.
I gotta do it.
He's gonna keep murdering people, and it's the long game with him. So I'll just end it now.
You're right, man. The insurance game is a complete racket, man. Car insurance, health insurance. I mean, it's they win in the end. Like they win. It's the perfect capitalist business, right? Because people, you have to have it, right? You have to have insurance. You pay on it, every month, whatever it is. And then when you need it, they deny your claim. You know what I mean? So like, why have I been paying this? It's the perfect racket, Because it really is.
Because it's the law.
It's hard to feel bad for the CEO, like I said, who's made.
And why is it the law? It's the law because the rich people have bought the politicians. They bought the seats in Congress. Do you guys know who Lena Khan is? Yeah. Her ass is out. Like they got her for her right now. So like, she's the head of the FCC, right? Yeah. So she's out here like trying to make things better for consumers. And the first thing Trump, like I just heard it recently, Trump's like, yeah, man, we're switching. We got a new head. He's another rich billionaire corporate head.
Asshole, yeah.
And they're gonna toss her out and put his ass right in there. All the mergers are going through, right? All the massive corporate bills, all the monopolies are going through, and that's how we get here. Like, y'all heard me say this before, but billionaires are a problem, right? Not because they're innately bad people, but because when you have that much money, you can buy anything you want.
Yeah.
So we saw what Elon Musk did for Trump, right? You see what they can do with this excess money they have. It has no strings. They could put it anywhere. If it's illegal, they tie it up in court for 20 years. And even if they do get convicted,
they settle.
It doesn't matter. Yeah. The money is a problem. Billionaires can't exist because they break a capitalist system like ours. Well, they break any system, honestly.
When you can buy anything you want, no consequences or repercussions. Yeah, it's like the limits are there are no limits. To what you can.
So in the end, the system has to break, and then it'll just be.
And it's probably not even their fault because they don't realize that they don't realize the wrong. I try to always put myself in the shoes of if I was a billionaire, right? Like I'd probably be doing the same type of things, I'd probably be an asshole and I'd probably be, disconnected from the, because that money just seduces you and the power of it. Yeah. Like you can't, how can you not be susceptible to it, So. Yeah.
So they
gotta give
exist.
Elon a little bit. I do think Elon is a modern day kind of like a Tony Stark figure.
Fuck out of here.
We love Tony Stark, but Tony Stark was probably closer to Elon Musk than he was to Robin Hood, right? Like Tony Stark would have been a capitalist pig.
The same thing.
Tony Stark would have been a capitalist pig, would have stepped on a little man. Tony Stark would have fired 40,000 people in a day if it could have saved his stock price.
Remember, he literally was that.
Tony Stark was probably an asshole.
Now the bitch part is when he realized that was wrong. That shit doesn't happen.
The weapons, yeah, he realized
when
it was
he
wrong
changed his life
after he
and
got
made
abducted.
a super suit.
After he got abducted and damn near killed, then he realized, oh shit, this is wrong. But how many millions of people had Tony Stark murdered before that? So there's a fine line, man. Like even Elon can be a good person, but still be a billionaire capitalist asshole. You know what I mean? Like it's hard, man. It's hard. Brian Thompson, for all we know, Brian Thompson, he probably was the type of guy you could have sat down and had some beers with. We could have invited him on the Intelligent Idea Talkers podcast. He'd have had a lot to say. We'd have been interested,
But sure,
he wouldn't like me.
He could have been a great guy. He could have been a great guy, but we know for fucking facts.
I'd be like, yo, how many people you killed today, bro?
Yeah, how many people you murdered this month?
It's like we know for a fucking
what are their
fact.
Names?
Like,
hey, Juice would have asked for their specific names. Yeah, name all the people you murdered this month, man. How many claims have you denied?
How many claims you denied today, motherfucker?
Right. Yeah, it sucks, man.
That's fucking record. Like, we know for a fact that like he has been responsible for the deaths of hundreds of thousands of people.
And it is par for the course. It's crazy.
You know, all for the
that
bottom
shit
line.
Is normal.
It's crazy how that comes back on you, right? Like, you know, think about all the claims he's denied. Indirectly, he's responsible for the deaths of people, and for him to be murdered like that,
Dude,
you know, in the streets
being
of New
murdered
York,
is an outlier. Like,
it's kind of like, it's kind of
the
like
rest
the
are fine.
they're coming home. The chickens are coming home to roost a little bit, right? Like, it's
no,
kind of karma.
Just him.
It's kind of karma.
The company will be fine.
Yeah, the company's fine. They're gonna keep doing it.
Life
They're gonna
rolls
replace
on.
The company, nothing's going on with the company. Yeah, they're like, well, shit. It's like you said, hey, we like Brian. Damn, then we gotta replace him.
Hey,
come on, Jim. Yeah, Jim.
Hey, Jim, come on in here.
Jim. A fortuitous opportunity has presented itself.
Never let a good tragedy go to waste, man.
As you know, Brian was killed.
As you know, Brian was murdered in the streets.
We have policy for when these things happen.
You're the next man up.
Time for you to step up.
Right.
Now you might be
killed. Give him a speech. Look, in these hard times, we're really gonna need you to step up.
We need you to step up. Now there's a smaller chance that you might be killed, but
do you guys do you think this will happen again? I think like we said with Elon, they have this air of untouchability, which I don't think I think they will catch some of them lacking. I don't think this is going to affect true change in the system, but I could totally see this happening again within the next year. It might not be a CEO of the same company, but it's going to be, you know, because ideas kind of catch on a little bit, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah, I could totally see it happening again, man. I could totally see it.
It's weird because I don't want to be like, it would be nice if it does. That's not good.
I think the nice thing would be if
saying that
change happened. You know
not what I'm saying. Interesting.
And it's just funny because this whole situation highlights the change that needs to happen. Even the people in charge of these companies, the people that sit on the board of directors for United Healthcare, they know what they're doing. They know, but it's about making profits, and they know that they're screwing people. They know, and they don't care. Brian Thompson didn't care. He didn't care. He was signing off on it. He was increasing shareholder value. He didn't give a shit. So it's not going to stop. It's not going to change anything. Man. It's really not. Anyway. But we'll see. We'll see, man.
You guys want to? Well, right. You got like a few minutes. We can hit another topic real quick.
Says, can we talk about sex? I mean, sex workers.
There was an article she had sent earlier about. I think I closed it because I thought we were going to shut down soon.
You said sex workers? Oh, what happened with them? Wasn't that like a sex worker? No, I thought there was like a strike. It's like a union in a strip club recently. Something.
Really?
I think so. It was like I saw some article the other day. It was like some unionized strip club or something like that.
Word, man.
Hey, no, they gotta make their money too.
No, I'm not.
Sex work is as old as history itself, man.
The oldest profession, as they say.
If it's one thing that's always going to sell, it's sex.
I'm in complete agreement with everything.
If they ever figure out a way to put sex in a 6-pack, you know what I mean? I don't even need to get married, man. Hey, I'm sorry. No.
What is that? What is that?
Go to the store and give me a 6-pack of sex.
What's the old adage? Like, if they found a way to tax prostitution, then we would never be in debt. Like,
100%, yeah.
We'd be in a surplus.
Hell yeah. I mean, what do you mean find a way? It's like, just do it. But it's illegal.
That means they would have to legalize it first.
Won't.
That's why.
Like, it's not like it's a complicated thing to undo to like make it legal. It's arguably legal off basis, and then they make it illegal. I guess that's how everything works. But
I think also child trafficking and human trafficking plays a big part in all that shit too, which is why they can't legalize it. There's so many devious people in the world.
I don't know why I can't. Oh, here it is. All right. Here. Euro News says sex workers of Belgium gain historic labor rights as new laws take effect. So this is our international segment. Dr. K says Belgium became the first country to allow sex workers to unionize and get benefits.
Okay, maybe that's what I'm thinking about. Yeah.
Yeah. Let me see if I can find some wording here. So the new law also grants sex workers fundamental rights, including the ability to refuse clients, choose their practices, and stop an act at any time, which makes sense.
Sex workers didn't have the ability to refuse clients before?
Well, not if you're
I guess depending on who
shit at you.
Yeah,
No.
I guess depending on who you're working for. Yeah, I mean.
Said law on Sunday.
At the end of the day, it's still my body. Like, I guess.
The law aims to combat abuse and exploitation within the industry, ensuring sex workers now have access to health insurance, paid leave, maternity benefits, unemployment support, and pensions. Look, real talk, guys. Like
maternity leave and sex work.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude.
I'm like, unemployment support and pensions is crazy. That's like
there's a whole bunch of
revolutionary
to come up with this.
Yeah, that's like that's I mean that's damn close to revolutionary. I agree.
Yeah, it is. It is 100%.
Like this is like union level. Like dude, like McDonald's workers don't get this.
No.
like they literally don't get this. It's like. This is crazy good, and yeah, this is what it looks like when you have a what do you call it? A political structure that cares about its people, right? Like also, prostitution is one of those things that's going to happen anyway.
You said this is for Belgium specifically?
Yeah, this is in Belgium.
I would be interested to see the numbers that sex workers do in a year as far as money, because I'm guaranteed it's a multi-million-dollar industry. You know what I mean?
Oh, is it?
Yeah, 100%. You know, like
I do.
No, 100%. I mean, money is exchanging hands. I mean, this is a lot of money on the line. So, you know, and also in something like sex work, it's almost like an athlete, right? Like you have to take care of your prized possession. You have to take care of your prized cow. You know, like you want your golden goose. You know what I mean? You want the goose to keep laying golden eggs. You have to take care of it. You know, so I'm shocked that they haven't had adequate health care and benefits before now. You know what I mean? Yeah. Right? Like, and okay, so about the maternity leave in particular, are there stipulations? I'll be curious to know, like, so if you get pregnant from a client, does not count as far as like, do you have to be married to get that maternity leave? Do you have to be in a committed relationship? Because you have to be married to get
maternity leave anywhere.
Yeah.
But you're in a sex work profession.
So
where you can possibly get pregnant I wonder what the stipulations are.
It doesn't matter how.
Oh wait,
it only matters. Doesn't matter how it happens.
It's weird.
Employers now obtain authorization, adheres strictly to safety protocols, meet background requirements, including no prior convictions of sexual assault for human trafficking. They must provide, these are employers, they must provide clean linens, condoms, and hygiene products, and install emergency buttons in workplaces. So that might help reduce unwanted pregnancies if they have to supply like hygiene stuff, condoms, contraceptives. If they keep these things regular and available, that might help reduce unwanted pregnancies, right?
Yeah.
But at the same time, it's like it doesn't really matter.
How. It's just the fact that they have that benefit in general is where it's at. So like if sex worker gets pregnant, they have access to maternity leave, which is amazing.
I'm happy for the sex workers overall. It's kind of weird because like you figured they would have had a lot of this stuff already. If I want to run a viable business and I want to take care of my assets, you know, you figure you would have had,
take that analogy and put it to insurance industry.
And an emergency button. You would have had an emergency button installed already. You know what I mean?
Take into account if a female sex worker gets pregnant, that would probably affect the income going forward after a while, unless they have clientele where that's a kink for them. Then they still have steady clientele then. But even then, up to a certain point, you know.
Yeah.
So,
Oh yeah.
That's all. It's all. It's cool. I'm happy for him, but it's just seems like you guys should have had some of this stuff in place already. At
But
least
that's the
the
thing. Like,
employers.
I don't know what Claudine says in Europe they have social democracy, meaning leaving and universal health care. I don't know what leaving means. And they take care of all assets.
the way they take care
The
of
way
assets.
they take care of the assets. Abortion. Oh, okay. Yeah, that's true. That's how they would.
That's cool.
Wait, so is Belgium? So sex work in Belgium in general is legal? I'm asking the doc. I don't know. I mean, it is now. I'm assuming because they passed this rule.
Yeah,
But is this the rule that made it legal, or was it already legal? And this is just supporting the sex workers, making it a law to support them in this way. I don't know.
Good for them, man. Honestly, my thoughts about like sex work and prostitution and everything is like, sex is one of those things that everybody can identify with. No matter what your sexual orientation is, human beings like to have sex. That's how we're here. Like, so I've never understood vilifying people for it.
I think all vertebrate species like sex.
Okay, well, semantics, semantics again. But for the most part, we're human beings. We like sex, So it's if someone wants to have sex for a living and get paid for it, to me, that's kind of smart because you were going to have sex anyway, right? Like, I get the whole. I get the whole.
Do it anyway. Might as well get paid for this shit.
I get the whole shaming of it publicly, right? Because you're selling such an essential, special part of your body for money. It's like you're monetizing that, especially for in our culture for the women, they're more vilified than the men.
I think that's
men are looked at. Men, if men get a lot of women, we're looked at as pimpish and we're the cool guy. But if women get a lot of men, they're looked at as a whore and all this. So it's kind of not fair. But yeah, I've never personally vilified people for sex work. It's one of those things that it sells itself. It's a commodity, and I'm happy for the workers in Belgium, man. They should have had a lot of these rules in place. Why not? If you're gonna do it safely. Get your money, and protect yourself. That's great. That's great, man. Do you ever think they'll legalize it in the U.S.? I know it's legal in Nevada, not in the county that Las Vegas is in, but it's legal right outside of there. So I think they have like what's it called, the Bunny Ranch, and it's somewhere in Nevada. It's right one of the famous cat houses that's over there.
Question though, let me ask: like, what do you guys think like the country will look like? I mean, and you can't really know, but I guess like if you had to predict or whatever, what do you think the country would look like if sex work was legal and supported in America?
I don't think it would change much.
You don't think so?
I don't think it would actually change much.
I honestly don't think so either.
I think it would be business as usual.
I don't think it would change. I don't think it would change for like normal people. I think it would change. I think it would, if it was legal, then it would be taxed. It could be unionized. Mm-hmm. So I feel like quality of life for the sex workers would increase.
Mm-hmm.
But I feel like for everyone else, it just would be whatever. I feel like maybe on like the government side of things, maybe things might change. Like I mentioned before, we'd be in a surplus, and then money would be handled differently as a result. Taxpayers' monies would go a lot farther, hopefully. But then again, we don't make the determination on how that's spent.
They'll just send it to Israel.
Okay. Yeah, right.
Anyway, I was just thinking, so like, I wonder like what the competition would be like. Would there be more like, like I think I think if they did do it, they would have to like they do in Belgium. Claudine says they have districts where it's legal, right? I feel like there will have to be areas where it's legal. You don't want to you want a brothel next to the grocery store, right?
Elementary school and shit. Yeah.
I guess elementary school. Unless it makes it easier to pick up your kid after work.
Yeah, kids coming out, but I'm gonna work there when I get older.
And
so,
to kind of add to that too, it's
get out there and be somebody.
To kind of add to that, to what Dee was talking about with vilifying, I think that would be seen from a different perspective. Maybe not so much, because I think the very act of vilifying sex workers is based on insecurity.
Little dick syndrome.
Yeah, just in general, just security, insecurity, and morale, where you feel like your morality compass lies, and you feel like, oh, that's beneath me. That's not something I would ever do, or something like that. I don't know. So it's like that would be, the vilifying might still continue, but it might be from more from that standpoint, more from a personal standpoint as to why they're vilified.
Yeah.
And not so much hiding it under the guise of it being from a financial standpoint, or from a inclusive standpoint of they have benefits like everyone else, with normal jobs, right?
Yeah.
So
Christians lose that shit.
Right.
Or not even just Christians, just religious zealots, just
religious
people.
Religion. Yeah, exactly. It would be religion mainly. And Claudine said Christian jealousy. Yeah,
and also just regular therapeutic massage is completely legal, right? It's kind of
how much cheaper massages would be.
Different kind of massage. They're pretty much what it is.
Competition might start there, right?
It should be legal.
Yeah. Imagine just
in a safe way, and the workers are protected. I don't understand why they wouldn't legalize it. It's a whole new revenue stream as far as taxes go, and overall, it would give people, a profession that they can, especially women, that they can always have. That's always in demand. You know what I mean? So it wouldn't have to be. You wouldn't have to be criminalized for it. I wonder why they don't legalize it.
Because, dude, the same reason that they're tripping about abortion right now.
Yeah, the Christian ideal.
The same reason that they're vilifying trans people and homosexuality again.
Mm-hmm.
It's just the conservative mind. They need something to hate, so they'll find something that scares them.
Yeah,
they don't understand.
I'm glad Belgium is forward thinking.
And little dick syndrome is serious, man. You have too many women with too much confidence. It makes small men, not even let me stop saying little dick. It makes small, insecure men fearful,
especially in a patriarchal society.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, imagine the next billionaire being the madam of a brothel, right?
Yeah, 100%,
Elon Musk.
Oh, Elon Musk is opening a brothel immediately if they ever legalize that shit, bro.
Huh?
Elon Musk probably already has a couple, but
yeah, probably.
Guaranteed. I mean, we just sat there and talked about the depravity of these people and the disconnect. The people who have billions of dollars who they feel they can buy anything. They're already involved in all this sex work and all that stuff. I mean,
oh yeah. The crazy thing is Diddy probably wouldn't be in as much trouble if these shits was fucking legal.
Diddy would have.
Imagine all of this, whole accusations, all of the whole Me Too. Imagine it being legal. So these guys can handle their shit and not have to take it everywhere else. I mean, sometimes it's a power thing for them.
There would be more acceptance. There would be more acceptance of some of the depraved acts.
Yeah.
Right? Or a different bar for what is considered to be depraved.
Or consensual. Obviously not with children. Anything with children or underage people.
Never. No.
Yeah. But some of the more consensual acts between adults might not be looked down upon so much.
If you want to get your BDSM on, you know what I'm saying,
hey, speaking of Diddy, I hope Diddy
that one's brought over there by McDonald's.
The thing is
do you know no Diddy is a saying now? Like it's like no homo or something like that. No Diddy. You know what I'm saying? Damn, he's been turned into a saying, man.
He's turned into a meme.
I heard somebody say something on YouTube the other day. He was like, "Yeah, I'm gonna grease you up, no Diddy." And then I was just like, "Oh man,
wait, what's the context for the first statement?"
But it actually fits though. No Diddy, it goes. You know what I'm saying? No Diddy. You
have to say that if the context is "I'm gonna grease you up." Like, whoa,
Diddy had
whoa.
Diddy got he's been taken down so low that he's gotten, no Diddy is a thing now, man.
Yeah, no Diddy's a thing, man.
He used to be on top of the world, man. Take that. Now no Diddy, man.
Take that means a whole nother thing now.
Yeah, take that.
Making the band.
Man, y'all ain't right, man. Take that. Yeah, take that means a whole nother thing now, man. Man. Well, yeah, fellas, been a good cast, man. Yeah,
we should.
Yeah, no. Frank said he had to go, man.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
Any other words on Brian Thompson or Diddy or Belgium sex work? When does Captain America come out? February.
Valentine's Day.
Yep. I mean, I'll be there. I'm not expecting much, fellas. To be honest, I'm sorry. Maybe the hype. It might be the Thor: Love and Thunder thing because I remember the hype before Thor: Love and Thunder, and you saw the clip with Guardians of the Galaxy in there, and you were expecting. That's where I thought they really fell off with that movie. They should have included the Guardians. I know they had to go off to record or to do Guardians 3. They should have had the Guardians come back in Thor: Love and Thunder to kind of reinvest you in the overall story of Marvel. They were at the beginning. They were at the beginning. Right? They should have came back towards the end. I remember at the end of Endgame when they all flew off together. You were excited, like, man, where could this go? Guardians and Thor? Like, where could they? I would totally want to see a Thor and Guardians of the Galaxy movie.
Yeah, right. That would have been great.
Yeah, it would have been dope.
I feel like they could have missed the ball now. Or if they, anyway.
Well, so maybe I'm building myself up for the hype from talking about Captain America, but I'm not expecting much, man. I'm just not. If this movie blows me away, I will be totally shocked. I'll be shocked, bro. No Diddy. If it blows me, I'll be no Diddy, bro. I'll be shocked. For real.
Right. No comments.
No Diddy, bro.
He didn't use it right the first time, but he corrected himself.
I did. But still, I'm just trying. It's like the kids say, no cap. You heard of that shit now? No cap?
I don't even know what that means.
Yeah, no cap. I tried.
Sure what it means. No lie. Why cap?
Hey, that's cap, man.
Are caps lies?
Caps are lies.
Caps are lies. Okay.
Caps are lies.
Yeah, I guess if you capping.
I don't know.
If you lie.
Yeah, I guess if you capping, you fronting. Something, I don't know.
Well, fronting is our era.
Yeah, true. No friend, right? So I guess
fronting.
So no fibbing.
No fables. I remember
Fables was crazy.
No mistruths.
No fables. That was one.
Anyway, all right, guys. Hey, actually, D. Right, I know you gotta drop off, but D, do you want to cover this Andrew Schultz shit?
Yeah, let's do it.
All right. All right, guys. It's been a pleasure. Y'all take care.
All right.
Big Frank. Take it easy, man.
Next time.
Peace. Later.
All right. I got the video up, so we could just, I don't know. You seen it? Him talking about K-Dot, Kendrick Lamar.
Scholes. That's the guy who does the podcast.
Yeah. So the same dude from the last time we talked about him with the whole.
I never really glammed onto that guy. He never really caught me with his intellectualism or his interview skills. Yeah, whatever. But I know who you're talking about.
Yeah. Anyway, he dropped this clip. I pulled this clip off TikTok, so it's got a dude at the bottom. But I'm gonna play this and then we could comment on it. So he's talking about. So what he's talking about is. There was a verse. I don't know if you heard the new Kendrick Lamar album.
Mm-hmm.
So there's a verse, I think, in the first song where he mentions, "Don't let no white dude, whatever, no white comedian talk shit about black women," or So Schultz took that personally,
which Andrew Schultz is famous for. Has gotten flack for before. Yeah. Which
arguably,
I think is why we talked about him before, right?
Yeah, that's why you talked about him previously.
Right.
So he so this is his response to that verse. All right, let me put this up.
Kendrick, I would make love to him. There's nothing he can do about it.
Wait, start over.
Just Kendrick. I would make love to him. There's nothing he can do about it. Just Kendrick Lamar. I would make love to him, and the only thing that he could do is decide if it's consensual or not. That's the only thing he could do. If it's me and Kendrick, this is about physics. It's about physics. I don't even know if I'll get hard. But if we're in a cell, there's a chance that if we're in a cell and we're bored and we've done tattooing each other, whatever you do in the cell, and we ran out of board games and we did all the other things, we cleaned everything, and I'm like, man, I might as well fuck you. There's nothing he could physically do to stop that besides put his legs in the air and choose a position. Maybe I'll let him choose a position.
The fact that Andrew Schulz is sitting there boasting about great.
All right.
I want to hear what that guy had to say. What did that guy have to say about the end? He's sitting there boasting about rape.
But that's what we about to do.
Yeah,
that's what we about to do.
I mean, I'm like, what the hell?
I could play the rest of it.
That clip perfectly encapsulates why I've never liked Andrew Schulz. You know, as far as like,
Right.
I don't like the way he talks. I don't like the way like even the jokes he makes is not funny. You know, like I
what
think a
part
lot
of
of
that
those
shit
people
was
on that
funny?
panel are laughing just out of pressure that it's his show. But
Right. That's you got the same vibe I got, right?
yeah,
Like the dude's over there cracking up, but it's like it's kind of
Like, it was
disturbing, bro.
hilarious.
That you thinking about this?
it's like it wasn't funny, and to me, like there's no comparison between a Kendrick Lamar and Andrew Schulz. Like, what even gives you the right to even joke like that? You know what I mean? Like, outside of your base of people that follow you, personally, I mean, look what Kendrick did to Drake. I think Kendrick will destroy your show. If I'm Kendrick, I'm coming out with a song about Andrew Schulz next. That's my next song.
Oh,
It'll be my next hit song.
I hadn't even considered that. But if Kendrick did drop a track, like taking out Andrew Schulz, like just coming at him, he could dismantle this dude. And it's really not much Schulz can do. Like
What can he
Schulz
do?
can talk. He talks on podcasts.
Yeah.
but a diss track ain't the same as just talking shit.
I remember I came to Andrew Schulz, no Diddy, but I came to him from his association with
You don't have to say that.
from his association with Charlemagne the God, because he used to host that show with Charlemagne.
Mm-hmm.
And you know, I never really liked Charlemagne like that either, but Andrew Schulz was one of those guys I was familiar with him, but I would never watch his show just to see what Andrew Schulz has to say. You know,
About any given topic and shit.
I didn't listen to Andrew Schulz when Brian Thompson got murdered got assassinated by this guy Luigi Mangione or whatever. I didn't go listen to Andrew Schulz. Let's just put it that way.
Yeah, same here. But like, so a lot of people are talking about like that. One of the main issues with this is like how he approached, like how he came at Kendrick, off of some really rapey vibes, right? And they're talking about how like he got like he's threatening Kendrick, arguably threatening. He's joking, but it's not really a funny joke. It's I don't know. I saw a clip earlier about like did you watch the interview with Cat Williams and the big dude with the drinking? Shannon Sharp. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So like there was a whole there was a segment in that whole thing. Remember when Cat was talking about like, yo, like one of those topics you don't joke about is rape, right? And it was like
100%.
Rape is never funny. And the way he was talking about it was like a really like it was like a real clear statement. And it's weird how like Schulz immediately after being criticized, and like it's not like Kendrick said his name or anything, but we know who he was talking about. But your criticism, your response to being criticized for talking negatively about black women is to rape the black man is a strange racial dynamic, right?
100%. Especially when you have the context of the history of in this country between white and black people and the demasculinization of the black man in the eyes of white people. You know what I mean? Like That's what I said. What even makes Andrew Schultz think that that's okay to even joke about? You know?
Yeah, like if all the responses you could come up with, like Kendrick hit me with a stray. Like, whose response is I can rape you? Like, the fuck is whose response is that? Like, what?
You know.
I
So
don't
there is
understand
something
that.
about
I don't understand it at all.
there is something about a power dynamic about male rape, right? Like,
Yeah,
I remember even
That's true.
in there was some movie I was watching. It might have been Spartacus. I don't know if you ever watched the show Spartacus, but like,
Yeah. I watched the first 2 seasons.
yeah, the first season with Andy Whitfield, was that his name? I forget the guy's name, man. That was my favorite season.
Yeah,
It was off the hook. But
That was
like,
the only role I ever liked him in.
there was a part in season 3 where one of the characters raped another character, the male character. It was in the army, and the other 2 army guys held him down, and he raped him like a show of power. Like, I can take control of you if I want to. So I think there's that kind of dynamic to it. There's also a sexual kink. You know, why would you joke openly on a podcast about raping another man, regardless of race? You know, unless there's some kind of sexual kink to it for you, or you just completely thought it was funny. You thought it was funny. Like, you don't. That tells me you don't know your audience, because most men that listen to you are going to look at you like, "What the fuck are you talking about, bro?" Like, that's your first response, is to say that you're going to rape one of the most popular hip hop artists. You know what I mean? In the country right now, that's your response.
Like, that's such a crazy response, bro. Like,
if I'm Kendrick, I'm
definitely don't know your audience. Like, Charlamagne put you on, right? He was invited to the cookout, arguably, right? They say you invited to the cookout, you the cool white boy. Motherfucker took that shit, and it was like, immediately just starts doing heinous shit, talking reckless about black women, and then now like coming at one of our top artists who. Here, one of his arguments I heard him say earlier. So he did an interview with Charlamagne, and one of his arguments, he was saying that, like, trying to justify himself for making that joke, or even joking about black women, is like, yeah, rappers don't respect black women, right? And like, pretty much saying that, like, because they do it, it's fine for me to not disrespect black women. And like, the lack of context of that shit is so like, white boy, you are not paying attention when we invited you out this jump.
And I know
there's different kinds of rap. Like, there's different kinds of approaches to black women. Not every rapper is disrespectful to black women, and Kendrick Lamar in particular has not been a rapper who's disrespectful to black women. So that doesn't even match yet.
I would argue that most rappers are not respectful to women in general, not just black women. You know what I mean? Like, when they're talking about women in their songs, they're not talking about specifically black women. I mean, they'll call their Asian women a bitch, or they'll call their Hispanic woman a hoe. I got a Hispanic bitch. You know what I'm saying? Like, they're disrespectful to women in general. You know what I mean?
True.
And
so he's just kind of racially assuming that it's black women.
But I think a lot of white people do that. I think a lot of white people just assume that we're disrespectful to the black woman. A lot of it's just stereotypes, Juice, man. The absentee father, the father is not there. You know what I mean? Like, you're there for your kids, so like right there, that's a stereotype. You know what I'm saying?
Like, it's been a stereotype. That's always kind of been the case too. It's like, black men have always been, like, statistically the same or higher, right? They're not married, right? Black people don't always get married, but that doesn't mean that, like, they count that lack of marriage as, like, the fathers aren't in the home. Like, that's not what that means at all.
I've never been married, and I've been here for my son every single day since he was born. You know what I'm saying? So, it's all about stereotypes.
Constantly.
And Andrew Schultz should know better, right? You figure that he would know better, because he's been hanging around Charlamagne. He's been hanging around the culture. Yeah. This to me is like, I don't know if it's worse than the joking on black women, but it's damn near up there.
Definitely is.
It's up there. It's like, and the fact that he went on so long about it wasn't like a little quick thing that he said.
Oh no, yeah, he had a whole.
I don't even
bit.
know if my dick would get hard, really. But ha 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 ha. You know what I mean? Like what?
Thought about that way
talking
too
about?
much.
Yeah, like what do you what do you take? Do you realize Kendrick will take all your credibility? You know what I mean? Just one hit song. Dan, part two. You know what I'm saying? I'm doing part two to Andrew Schultz, bro. Yeah.
Dun.
They're doing the still hard, man.
He got a song called "Meet the Schultz."
Yeah, meet the Schultzes, bro.
He was saying "Meet the Schultz."
Has there been any response from Kendrick? When did that video about Andrew Schultz drop?
It was about a week ago. I think I heard it was like maybe about a week old, give or take.
No response from Kendrick, which is kind of more disrespectful.
You know Kendrick, like Kendrick will sit on that joint quietly, and then it'll just happen.
Yeah, and it's kind of more disrespectful.
Thing.
Like Kendrick's like, nigga, I'm above that. I don't even have to respond.
Yeah,
to
he probably does not even want to say nothing. Like
here's the thing,
like Schultz's
podcast, yeah.
Like Schultz is getting his like shine off of this, right? He's like what is it? The phrase I always hear, they say a hit dog holler.
Mm-hmm.
He just made us a one verse in a whole album, and Schultz is like, he's talking about me. Like, he put his hand up, was like, he's talking about me, and I'm gonna say some heinous shit back to him, and everybody pay attention to me. And that's kind of what he's been doing, right? Like people are. I mean, it's crazy that he said that shit. So arguably, like, yeah, I don't blame you. You're getting that attention because you're acting crazy.
Yeah, you got to take advantage of the moment, but just you got to understand your audience. You got to understand the way that people think, and honestly, I would think even white guys listening to that part were probably like, "What the fuck are you talking about, dude?" You know what I mean? What are you talking about?
Like, if somebody said that shit to me, I would have to be like, I don't know what you do. Like, you're gonna describe raping another guy to me? I don't. What are we talking about?
Maybe he had a larger point after the whole rape joke, because rape already is not funny. You know, Dr. K says people are threatening Andrew. I would bet so. You know, the whole thing is, first of all, rape is not funny, right? You don't threat. Now, joking about raping a guy can be seen as kind of funny because it's so taboo, but still, to the large majority of straight men who listen to Andrew Schultz, because I don't think he has. Just to me personally, I wouldn't think that he has a large following of gay people who follow him, right? Like, raping anybody is not funny. It's not funny. What is it? So for him to go on and on about it in that clip is like, okay, say one line, or I'll come and fuck you. Da, 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 ha. But then he kept saying, my dick probably wouldn't even be hard.
He was talking about like putting his legs in. Like, what are you talking about, bro? What are you talking about?
You already were on the fringes. Now you just gone off the deep end, bro. I don't even know, why am I listening to you anymore?
Like, he needs a real friend to be like, bro, what are you talking about? Like, yeah, I feel like none of those guys were like his friends. They were just like there because they want to be on the show. But like a real friend would be like, what are you talking about?
Yeah, like his guy behind the scenes is who's a Joe Rogan guy behind the scenes? Jamie, yeah, behind the scenes. Like, he needs to tell her, hey man, come on, man. Like, you know, kill some of that. You know, maybe
it's like that doesn't make any sense.
Don't make any sense, especially for the artist that you're talking about. Like, this guy can vary this whole podcast, bro. Don't you don't want to turn our audience against us, you know?
Dude, you saying that, Jones, makes me really want Kendrick to just like.
So
I mean, I don't think he should. I personally don't think he should, because it's foolishness to even respond to this bullshit. But like, I do want him to. Like, it would be great.
Just because that Not Like Us was so hot, that's why everybody wanted to. Like, yo, what else you got, Kendrick? What else, man?
Oh yeah.
But I mean,
the GNX album is like
worked so well because it was Drake, you know, and Drake was so famous already. It would have to be a really hot track for the Andrew Schultz one to take off, you know.
Yeah, I look, real talk. I think anything Kendrick does right now is gold. Like, I think if he dropped a track now, it doesn't matter if it's good. The fact that he did it is all it would take.
I remember, I don't know who produced Not Like Us, who was the producer for that, but I heard that song on a commercial. It was like I think one of the I was watching the NFL game and they were going to a break, and in the background, you know, when they go to break, they kind of play music, and they weren't playing the lyrics, Not Like Us, but they were playing the beat. And I was like, damn, bro, this dude has he's crossed over in the mainstream with that song, bro. Like that song is playing on white college campuses with all white parties, and you know what I mean?
Oh yeah,
like he's kind of broken into a whole different stratosphere with that song just because the tune is so catchy, you know. And you could play that at step shows, you could play that at concerts, you could play that at graduations. You know, not the lyrics necessarily. Not the lyrics necessarily.
The idea of Not Like Us at a fucking wedding.
the beat is just so catchy, and you can dance to it. You could two-step to it. Old people know the song, Mustard. You know. Andrew Schultz got some balls for going at him like that. He's got balls because
he got balls.
Kendrick could bury that show if he wanted to respond. If he wanted to respond, Andrew Schultz would be a meme for everybody. So,
dude, that would be good. So Dr. K was talking about. So apparently, there's a girl that came out about a week ago and said Andrew Schultz sexually assaulted and manipulated her. And now he's crying because people are threatening him and his family. Which, honestly, I feel like that's kind of seems within his character, man. Like, his character, to me, he doesn't seem like a guy who's, like, looking to... Like, here, I like comedians who, like, are kind of like true tellers. Like, they like to say things that are, like... things you don't really recognize, but you know, and when you hear it, you're like, yeah, that's pretty much true.
They find the humor in the truth, yeah.
But a lot of comedians now, especially the guys like this, are like, they're bullies. They're like, Schultz is the guy who like finds somebody to laugh at, and he wants to laugh at a person, or he wants to laugh at a group of people, right? Like, oh, these people are fucking weird. Let's laugh at them. Like, I don't like that kind of shit. So like, when you have like that kind of comedy, like I feel like that behavior of him being a sexual assaulter is kind of within the realm of like what I would expect.
Yeah. Well, yeah, definitely. When you don't realize you have no self-awareness. Andrew Schultz doesn't seem like a guy who's very self-aware. Like he kind of just rolls, and maybe that's worked it for him to a certain extent, which is how he's gotten to the level he's at. Right. But, you know, when you enter into the more public you get, the more self-aware you probably have to be, you know. Like here on the Intelligent Idea Talkers podcast, we talk about white people. We reference white people a lot. Oh, that's so white. That's white.
Whites.
You know. But if we got more and more popular, we'd probably have to tone a lot of that rhetoric down, right? Because you want to appeal to as many people as possible. You don't want to alienate people. And you also want to be as inclusive as possible, right? So, like,
I would still refer to the whites as the
whites. We would always, because we have different perspective. We have the perspective of black men, so we can only look at it from our perspective. But you know, you got to be self-aware, man. You got to be self-aware, and like, I'm shocked at all the laughs that were going on that that panel right there. Like, nobody was just sitting there stone faced, like. Bro.
Yeah, dude. Like it seemed
looking
really.
Around
did they seem forced to you?
Of course, yeah.
I kind of don't want to run it back
because of where they were.
It's cringy.
They wanted Andrew Schultz to seem like he was the popular guy, and let's laugh. Oh, he made a joke. Look, guys, let's laugh at him.
People next to him are just laughing, except for that.
Decide if it's consensual or not. That's the only.
No, that's a fake ass laugh.
If it's me and Kendrick,
that they said. That was a fake.
Right, look at that bent over backwards on the. No, I think the one guy in the middle is kind of just sitting there. The one guy in the middle is kind of just sitting there.
This is about physics. It's about physics. I don't even know if I'll get hard. But if we're in a cell, there's a chance that
he's smiling a little bit. The guy in the middle.
And we done tattooing each other.
And even the guy that laughed really hard on the far right, he kind of calmed down.
Everything, and I'm like, man, I might as well fuck you. There's nothing he could physically do to stop that. Besides put his legs.
By the end, they're like,
Right. There's nothing he can physically do to stop it, nigga. He'll whoop your ass. Like, what?
Like, excuse me? The fuck are you talking about?
Nigga, I get my security. What do you mean there's nothing he can do to physically stop it?
And real talk, I don't...
self-awareness. Maybe Andrew Schultz just doesn't realize, he thinks he's on top, or this is the peak of his career, so he's just not very self-aware.
Yeah, maybe. He's trying to get some hits. This dude's face is funny.
Yeah, it is. It's like, what the fuck? Yeah,
that's how it's feeling, though.
Hey, play it. Let me see what he says at the end of this.
There and choose a position. Maybe I'll let him choose a position.
The fact that Andrew Schultz is sitting there boasting about raping Kendrick Lamar and the people next to him are just laughing, except for that one brother, is just wild to me. Like, he literally sat up there and emasculated Kendrick. Like, nothing is funny about Grape, but just because it's not happening to a woman doesn't mean it's not as serious. Like, what are we saying right now? We gotta check these comedians, bro. This guy reminds me of that Austrian painter.
I think it is a little funny.
Wait,
like, okay,
that is a Hitler. He said an Austrian painter?
Yeah. That nigga, he does like Hitler in that.
That dude like Hitler.
Right there. He does.
That's a Hitler photo right there, dude.
Shit, yeah.
God damn.
He does look a little Hitler-esque.
Yeah, it's like Hitlerian. Right?
Yeah, he looks Hitlerin and shit, yeah.
Hitlerian photo.
Yeah, Hitlerian and shit, yeah. But rape is okay in the context of talking about men. I think it can be a little humorous because it doesn't happen often to men. Like it's rape is strictly a
in the Prince context.
If I went to a rape group and I said, hey man, this woman raped me the other night, now they would have to take it seriously because it's a case, but in everybody's mind, that too. If I went to my job and I said, hey, this girl, she touched me inappropriately, she touched my penis and I wasn't comfortable, they'd have to take it seriously because of the ramifications if they don't. But in the back of people's minds, they're gonna be like, she touched your dick and you didn't like, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah. Like seriously? if you were talking like, I know what you're talking about.
You know what I mean? Like, so seriously, you're upset that she touched you. You felt uncomfortable that she touched you. So it's kind of exclusively kind of almost a woman's thing. Like Dave Chappelle said in that one stand up. He was like, there's no rape group for men. Like if I get raped, I just gotta get up and shake it off. And that was kind of funny because it's like it's so taboo for a man to get raped. You think of rape for a man, you think of going to prison and a guy raping you forcibly. So it's like there's no rape line for men. So it can be funny in that context.
It's because it's like it's not something people encounter or like that's like often heard of, and I think it's because of its like nobody reports it, right? So it's kind of like laughing at something that doesn't happen. I feel like people feel like it's more permissible to laugh at something like because it seems ridiculous.
Yeah, it does
because it's not like it's not often in people's experience that you hear of like a guy being a sexual assaulted or raped by a woman. It's like something like it seems so out of the ordinary. But like in the event it was ever actually encountered, right? Yeah, of course it should be taken seriously. But I do understand people like not or like if a comedian said it, like if somebody told you, I hope you wouldn't laugh in their face. But there's like there's circles where people might be in where they couldn't say something like that to their boys. Like you couldn't say that to your boys.
Yeah.
Like if I was living in the townhouse back in the day with the guys, and I was like, yeah, this girl, like I couldn't say that shit to them.
Yeah, bro, I'd have been like, what? Like, so you were held down against your will and physically forced herself on you? That shit would have been a good thing.
Like,
you know what I mean? Like, honestly, like, that shit would have been. Like, yo, she held me down and forced us. I'd have told that shit like a story. I'd have been like, yo, she held me down, bro. She pinned me to the ground and then got on me, bro. That shit was like, what I'm saying? That shit. Fantasy, bro.
Yeah, dudes say that shit.
So,
especially not,
But when you're talking about a man-on-man rape, it's like, that's just brutal. It's like, come on, bro. Like, like, obviously, So but Andrew Schultz, that's what I said, self-awareness. Andrew Schultz, a joke about that It's not funny, bro. It's like, what? Every guy's looking around like, the fuck are you talking about, man?
Yeah.
You know? And who you're talking about. You're talking about Kendrick Lamar, bro. Like, this ain't just some random Joe
crazy to come at him.
Yeah, like, this ain't no random guy. Like, it's one of the hottest artists
that
out right now. You trying to turn the whole West Coast against us. I don't know where Andrew Schultz hosts his show. Might be in New York because he was with Charlamagne, but you want to turn the whole West Coast against us, bro. Like, what are you doing? You know?
That's not a good idea, bro.
Hey, what did Kendrick say? All he got here, he's the only one besides Snoop that can push the button, bro. You don't want Kendrick to push the button on you, you know?
Yo, it's true.
Come on, man.
We push the button.
But yeah, I couldn't tell you the last time I've listened to an Andrew Schultz show. Maybe the last time I listened to one was the last clip you played about when he was talking about the black women. So, you know, which was way more ignorant. Like, you're just ignorant for that.
Yeah, you know? That was foolish. Mm-hmm. Yeah, so Schultz, you know, making waves, making a name for himself. Yeah,
Andrew Schultz.
Oh, yeah,
yeah, man.
But I don't know, any other topics you want to cover, or like want to anything else?
No, man, I think I'm good, man. You know, I agree with Frank though. We do need to start doing this more often. Definitely going into 2025, man. It's about to be 2025. Oh, that's crazy.
We definitely have a shit ton of topics.
Yeah, man. Like we did, you know, at least every 2 weeks or so, you know, you know, instead of every 2-3 months, you know, whenever schedules allow. Yeah, we definitely need to start doing it more, man.
And I'm gonna do better with breaking up and making segments to release like on videos. Like I feel like if we do segments and then like we do a show every other week and then I could just release segments. I break it up and just release it over time.
Hopefully it's all good. We understand that. You know how people's attention spans are, you know. Yeah. And we are famously known for doing 3+ hour casts, you know.
What we at now? Oh, well, 240.
241. Not quite at the limit, but you know, close enough.
We done better.
Yeah, we could have did better. Yeah. You know. But yeah, nah, man, I'm good, man. I think it's been a good cast, man. We covered a lot. It's crazy.
Yeah.
You know. Yeah,
I was gonna talk about Drake, but
let's do it. Let's mention him real quick.
I mean, I don't really have the story up other than it was just a mention. It was like, you know, speaking of Schultz going after Kendrick, you know, Drake is what's it? He's pretty much suing Spotify or not Spotify, his label. I had the article up and I closed it.
Right, I did just hear about that. So he's not suing Kendrick.
He's going through shit right now. That's all I can really tell from it. Drake is going through some shit.
Somebody said Drake has been awfully quiet since all that Diddy stuff came out, man. Since all that Diddy stuff hit, Drake's been awfully quiet, bro. And it's true. You ain't really heard much from him, you know, outside of this lawsuit. You know, no new songs, no videos. I guess
that's the thing. He has released songs.
Yeah.
He just ain't getting no traction.
I guess every artist has its time, right? Like, you know, Drake's been hot for so long, like, eventually people will move on past Drake and it'll be the next new hot artist, you know? So that's
it's just wild to watch it when it's not organic, when, like, somebody comes in and, like, removes you. That's a crazy shit. Like, when, like, all I ever think of is, like, all I think of is Ja Rule getting removed, and I'm wondering, is this another Ja Rule moment?
Hang on, man. I'm trying to plug my phone in. Yeah, I don't think Drake necessarily was removed. Hang on, my bad. I don't think Drake was removed because he had his audience, right? Like, you have people that will swear by Drake over Kendrick any day, you know?
I mean, I'm sure Ja Rule has his fans still. I'm certain Ja Rule had his
Ja just fell off, and also we got to look at the times. Like Ja
got removed.
His music wasn't that good before. You know what I mean? Like it wasn't. Like his whole melody wasn't that good. He didn't sound that great. You know, I know
people love Ja Rule though.
I was never the biggest 50 Cent fan, but I know I would have listened to 50 10 times out of 10 over Ja Rule. Where would I be without my baby? You know what I mean? Like I just never got into that sound.
I think the issue was that, like, the way I feel like about Ja Rule and why I think like Ja Rule and Drake are similar is because Ja Rule had like a crossover effect.
Mm-hmm.
White people love Ja Rule. Like
Yeah.
white people love Ja Rule. That's why he was as famous as he was. Ja Rule wasn't really that big in the black community, especially not the hip hop community. We were in the hip hop community. Like we like rap. Like we like niggas got bars. Like bars matter to us. Ja Rule had nothing to do with bars.
No, he did for a little while at the beginning. I remember he had a track on the Belly soundtrack. Forget the name of the song, but that shit was hard.
It was one. Yeah, he had a good song there.
Mm-hmm.
I remember, the Belly soundtrack was good. Actually, I would break that shit out. That was a good album. But no, I feel like Ja Rule and Drake kind of had that same crossover because like white people love Drake.
Dr. K just dropped something about what they were for, man. I don't know if you want to read the comments.
Oh. Drake filed 2 lawsuits against UMG and Spotify. Okay. So UMG, which I think is his label or his company.
That's Drake's label or Kendrick's label?
Both. They're on the same.
Okay.
And I think if I recall what the story was saying is that he was suing Spotify or UMG because they allowed, I think the wording was they allowed Kendrick to release a song that defamed Drake and defamed his character.
Against their own self-interest being members of the same label.
Right.
Maybe that's why his argument is.
And I think the other one Spotify was that he what was it? Something about searching for Certified Lover Boy was bringing up Not Like Us. So Certified Lover Boy is like a Drake album or a Drake song. I don't know. But Certified Lover Boy, Certified Pedophile.
You gotta say it in Kendrick's voice when he said this shit. Yeah.
Yeah, you stay hear that shit. Yeah,
that
you hear that
joke, bro. If that shit came on right now, everybody's head gonna start bopping. Like it was just a cool song.
Certified Lover Boy, Certified Pedophile.
Even the video, you seen the video for that joint?
Yeah.
Even the video was cool. Like it's just a cool song, bro. I feel like Drake suck it up, bro. Because if it was you coming out with Not Like Us and you had all the hype around your song to Kendrick, you'd have no problem with it. Exactly. That's the hip hop game, baby. You've never been in a beef. Yeah, you've never been in a beef before. You're the lover boy. You're Drake. You're the pretty guy. You know what I mean? Like you've never really had a serious rap beef. But before Kendrick
kept making him dance, waving his hands, it wouldn't be no threat.
Before Kendrick dropped Not Like Us, you were all up in the beef. You were all up in, talking about this and talking about that. So now that Kendrick has hit a peak and is hotter than you at the moment, you gotta suck that shit up, bro. Come on, man. And that's not to speak on his legal standing. He might have a point legally,
I don't think so. Well, if he does, then like that is because that is how rap beefs work. I think the same thing would apply. Like if Kendrick had lost and Drake had won and Kendrick sued the label because Drake said disparaging things about him in the song, then we would be like, yeah, bitch move, Kendrick. Why the fuck was you? Why would you? Why you lost?
Up, bro. That's part of the game. You know what I mean?
That's how it goes. Yeah, you came into this on your own.
He never sued. And I don't know if 50 and Ja Rule on the same label, if Ja Rule had a basis, but he never. Ja Rule never. I never heard him complain about 50 doing it. He just took it like a man. Yeah, 50 beat me. You know what I'm saying? Like, what can you do? You know what I'm saying? 50 was hotter. He was hotter than me at that point. You got to take that like a man, bro. Self-awareness. Recognize your audience. Maybe Drake is so used to being. Drake is different though, because he's not just a hip hop artist; he's a pop artist.
He's a pop artist, and
I think Kendrick with this song has broken over into pop. I think he has because he's not a pop artist, not Kendrick, but he's broken through with this song.
Like G and X is not a pop album.
Yeah,
that's not pop at all.
No, and Drake is not, and Kendrick's not a pop artist. He's not. I would classify him more as like a backpack kind of a conscious artist. He's a hip hop artist, at heart, but he's not pop. But this song broke into that pop genre where you can hear this song being played in You could hear that song being played at skateboard parks and fucking ice skating rinks, and you know what I mean. White events all across the country, you can hear that song being played. You know, the
Hey, black people ice skate too.
Oh yeah, true.
Dr. K says, I listened to a podcast that mentioned that music companies pay third-party publicists to help them promote music, so they do not have direct impact on how music is marketed and who pays who. So arguably, like, he's doing what we thought. He's making a lawsuit because his feelings are hurt.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's all it really comes down to.
Right. So yeah, if that's the case, Dr. K is right. Why sue the label? Why not sue the third party?
Right.
Because they're the ones who had a direct impact on how the music was marketed. No, not the label. Yeah. Hey, I don't get it, but you know, at the same time, Drake, just suck it up, man. You know,
man.
That's the hip hop game, bro. We've been embroiled in beefs. I remember when they used to come out with remember mixtapes? Remember mixtapes were a thing?
Yeah, that's how I found Drake. Drake had a great mixtape. That's how I found Kendrick mixtapes.
Right. Like, you know, it's like all these versus battles, even recently, the versus battles, and they had like RZA versus who was it? RZA versus I forget who it was. But you know, all these verses that they had on there, and like recently? Suck it up, man. That's the who is it?
You said recently there was a RZA.
Yeah, there was versus? A hip hop. It was like a beat battle, right? So like, didn't they have RZA versus another producer? Might have been like Alchemist or something like that. And I know they had
a mix from like a fan, right?
No. So they had them like they were live.
Oh shit, for real?
And yeah, they had a versus battle. So RZA would play a beat or two, and the other guy would play a beat or two, and they would kind of go back and forth. And then the crowd would decide, or the people who were in would decide who was the better, who won the versus battle. Remember, they had one. I think it was Baby versus Cash Money. It was a Cash Money joint or something, and they got mad. It might have been like a 3-6 versus Cash Money joint or something they had, and they were playing songs back and forth. It's all online, you know.
Yeah, I'll check that out. Yeah. Yes, send me the link if you got that joint.
Yeah, I'll look that joint up. Yeah, it was recently, but the point is that's how beefs go. That's how hip hop beefs go, bro. Like
you can't win all the time.
You can't win all the time, bro. But maybe Drake being in that pop realm, he's so used to winning, you know.
Yeah.
Used to lose. He's not used to being embarrassed, you know. When he goes into a club for a show and they're playing Not Like Us before he comes to the stage and the crowd's going crazy. You know what I'm saying? It's probably pretty embarrassing.
Yo,
you know?
There was he was on a stream. You know, like they be having like streamers, and this is guy XQC. He was on a stream, and like for whatever reason, the song "Not Like Us" came up, and like seeing Drake's like physical reaction to that is like wild. Like the way he shrunk. And he was like, and then he got up and he left. Like, dude, he's hurt, man. Like, he's hurt, like, on a psychological level. This guy, Kendrick, exposed him and broke his world.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I feel like the lawsuit is he's flailing. I gotta hit him. I gotta do something I gotta hurt somebody else. I gotta do something. I can't just take this.
He ain't used to being embarrassed.
Nah, son. That's like the way this thing is, the way he shrunk it in before he got up is crazy. It was sad to see. I was like, oh.
And it kind of sucks because you have to be embarrassed in such a public way, where millions of people are repeating a song that disses you and calls you a pedophile. You know what I'm saying? Like, probably pretty embarrassing, but that's the hip hop game, baby. You signed up for it. You've made a fortune off of this game.
Yeah, you made a lot of money.
You say the word nigga in every song, you say it, so it's part of it, man. You can't be pop 1 second and then decide you want to be pop all the time. You entered into this battle, bro. So fuck it up, man. You know what I mean? Like, you're still Drake. At the end of the day, you still had a great career, bro.
That's the case that Drake is hurt because he's realizing that nobody ever loved him.
So he's calling HR.
He is calling HR the man.
Yeah, dog.
Damn, man, people love Drake. Okay, damn.
That's the weird thing with Drake is he is a pop artist, but he's a lyricist, bro. I don't know if anybody ghostwrites for Drake, but he has some of the best lyrics.
No, he's exposed for Kendrick exposed his ghostwriting.
I would imagine, yeah.
But
I also heard Lil Wayne had a
bars,
ghostwriter and shit. You know, I heard a lot of artists had ghostwriters, man.
Oh yeah.
I think ghostwriting. You know what? I'd be shocked if Wu-Tang ever came out and said they had a ghostwriter, bro. I doubt it. I know they did. I know they did.
I don't think Wu did because I feel like there's too many of them. Like maybe they might have helped each other, but there's too many of Wu-Tang to like not. You got a whole team, but you need ghostwriters for. We already got bars. You know?
I think ghostwriting is more of a newer thing. You know, especially when these verses like from Drake and Lil Wayne get so poetic and
Wayne definitely uses
in depth and just the
Wayne ain't smart enough to write some of the shit that he said before. Like this thing is not a smart person.
Oh no, I'm smart. Yeah. Yeah, man. I'm smart. I can write it. What, Lil Wayne? Speak up, man. But no, I mean, if I'm Drake, I've still had a great career. I'm embarrassed, but I see I'm speaking as just a Joe Schmo who's not a multi-millionaire pop artist like Drake is. You know, it's embarrassing.
I'm sorry, it's over. He's got Ja Ruled. It's over. He needs to go down. He needs to go spend time with his kids. Enjoy your money.
Take a couple years off and then come back. Just tour. You know, you don't have to come out with any more albums.
Yeah, do your old stuff. You know, like well, Earth, Wind, and Fire still touring. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Oh, maybe. 100%. And that's one of the great things. That's how a lot of these artists still make money. Like they don't make money off album sales. They tour and do their old songs. You know. That's how Wu-Tang is still relevant.
Pharaoh Monch is touring. Like you just go around and just do a venue in DC and the what's that the Howard Theater. Hit the Howard Theater. Get some money.
You're still Drake, man. Take a couple years off. People will be happy to have you on interviews. You're a celebrity. You know what I'm saying? What's the problem, bro? I don't know. He's embarrassed. That's what it is. That's
what you do.
And,
know what he needs to do?
And I would be too if I had people partying off. Certified lover boy, certified pedophile. Yeah, that joke was hard, bro. I'm about to go listen to that song as soon as we get off here.
Fuck him up.
That shit was hard, man. That shit made you feel like doing what did Casey call it? What did Casey call it? The clown walking?
Wobble?
Yeah, that shit made me feel like clown walking in that joint, man. I wish I could clown walk in that shit, bro.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, man. But that was cool. That was cool. You know,
cold-blooded, man. Anyway, yeah, man. So I don't know. I still think he got Ja Ruled. I think, we'll see. Maybe he'll have a reality show, right? That's what he needs. He needs a reality show. That's how you come back.
Totally. Anyway. I mean, Drake. The options are open for him, bro. Like he don't have to come out with anyone. He could never drop an album again and still be a relevant artist.
But
you know what I mean?
It's not about money. It's about his heart's broken. He needs attention.
They did say Drake was soft. They said Drake liked to wear lip gloss and all that shit. You know what I mean? So like they said he was soft, bro. That's what I heard. The running joke with Drake is that he's soft. You know, this shit is proving it. You know. Well, you know that he was just kind of like a
bunch of memes. You're right. I heard like Drake the type of nigga that fill in the blank.
You know? Hey, light skinned did, you know what I mean? Like he's a little soft, man. So he's proving it.
Man. What's that joke? Drake the type.
Yeah. Dr. K says he couldn't come back before the lawsuit. Now he's done. I think he can still come back. He just has to lay low for a while. Don't do anything.
Said Drake the type of guy to say, "Man, I really needed this," after a hard laugh with his friends.
Yeah. Like, yeah, that's fine. That's cool. You know.
Yeah, he was like, okay, it's fine. He was like,
yeah, man. I do remember all them Drake memes though, man. That Drake type to smack his lips after he drink Kool-Aid and shit, man. You know, he light skinned it. He's kind of soft. You know, that's like the running joke for Drake.
Yeah.
But you know, he got security, and you feel like when you reach that level of fame, how could you let shit like this affect you, bro? Like, you wake up in the morning, you're still Drake. you know, like get over it, bro. But
true.
I've also never had that level of public gaming or that level of recognition through the public. I mean, everywhere he goes, that song is probably in his face. Everybody's talking about it. Everybody's like, kids are listening to it. They love it. He goes to it. Like I said, he goes to a club to do a show. They're playing that song while he's backstage.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Like, and the crowd's going crazy. So it's like, yeah,
dude, just go off into the mountains with all your money.
That's what I said, man.
But they can't.
Lay low for a while. Take a year off. Mm-hmm. Take a year off. Lay low. What's the problem?
He said he could have came back before the lawsuit, but now he done.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, probably.
I don't think so. He just needs to lay low. Take some time away. I think he'll still sell out venues and he'll still do concerts and all that stuff. I think people still like Drake. He has enough of a music catalog that he don't have to. Like you said, he can tour off of his old stuff for years. Yeah, and people will come to see him. So yeah, he's good. It's just that song was just. And I remember when I first heard it, I never expected that song to take off like that. And I'm telling you, it's because of the beat. I heard that shit on an NFL broadcast going to commercial. They played that beat. And like that beat is just universal. It's like
you just hear it. It's like
you can two-step to it. You can electric slide to it. You can ghost walk to it. Kids can listen to it while they're skateboarding, you know what I mean? Like while they're playing hopscotch outside, just the beat. The beat is just, you can have
ultimate universal appeal.
Remember the dance competitions they used to have back in elementary school, Carrydale? They used to have like the talent shows and stuff like that. You can have that shit at a talent show and dance to it, It's just a cool beat. Drake is probably thinking, why the fuck didn't I come out with that shit? Damn. Shit. He couldn't have rocked it like Kendrick though, because Kendrick has that way he changes his voice and the way he raps. His rap style fit the beat, It was just like the perfect storm for Kendrick. It just came together, and he probably never expected that song to even take off like that,
Yeah, probably not. But
probably never even
at the same time, I feel like it was planned though. Just like I feel like it was planned. Like the plan was to have a party song, right?
Yeah.
Like whether or not it took off, he was like, no, this next one has to be a party song.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I don't want to be so serious with it. Yeah, because because we went through the whole music catalog.
We do all the tracks.
Right? Yeah, we did that. Yeah, and the song before that was very serious, where he had like the serious beat, the piano beat.
Dun.
Yeah,
and then, it was a Joe Budden was cool. Like that shit made me depressed as I heard it.
Yeah, it was still cool.
Yeah, that's one of my favorite tracks. Like the Meet the Grams.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. And it was dead serious. So yeah, you're right. He probably was like, yeah, this next one got to be a party song.
Dear Aubrey.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah, that's just crazy. Hey, I'm about to go listen to Jones right now.
Dr. K says HBCU marching bands have been going wild to that song. I'm like, of course, yeah, that beat,
bro.
Even not even HBCU.
That is definitely like the HBCU, like NSU used to have the great banjo. Like I can just imagine how loud that shit is right now.
Even on white college campuses, I guarantee they're playing at Arkansas State. I guarantee they're playing that song, especially in the marching band. Because
not with the same level of soul, but yeah.
Yeah, well,
they try.
They got no soul with that, Joe. Yeah,
soul.
Yeah. Yeah, man, no doubt, man. Well, yeah. But that's about it. That's about it, man. God bless Kendrick. God bless Drake. Hey, man, I'm here for it. They ever spark the beat back up? I'm here for it, man. I'm here for it.
God bless Luigi.
Except for Brian Thompson. Yeah. Seriously, that just my last point about that is it's I like your analogy to Robin Hood. He is kind of like a modern day Robin Hood, right? Like he didn't steal from the rich and give to the poor, but he sent a message to the rich from the poor. It's this shit is life and death for us. For y'all, it's about a bottom line on your fiscal report. For us, it's about life and death, bro. My grandmother died because you denied health care. My wife is sick in the hospital and you're denying her health care. My children need help. You know what I mean? Like this is not a game to us. And for y'all y'all come out with your $49 billion, you're dumping stocks before an investigation.
And profits more than the year before.
To
Like,
make $25 million and da-da-da-da. Like, this is not a game to us, bro. Man, I think that's what his message that he sent was, the Robin Hood part, you know? It's like,
y'all
this
can't
is
tell
not a
me,
game,
man.
bro.
Bernie was our Bernie, man, was our pivotal moment, man. We could have saved the country.
I did hear a joke about that guy Luigi, where like they were like, he's gonna murder another CEO, then murder another one, and then they're finally gonna catch him, and they're gonna pull the mask off, and they're gonna see it's been Bernie Sanders the whole time, and they're murdering the
whole
CEO.
time.
They would have gotten away with it too, you know. Like, yeah, he was like the Scooby Doo joke. I would have gotten away with it with the Bernie Sanders voice. Yeah.
Yeah,
Damn, man.
that's funny.
Yeah, but you know, and Bernie was right, and that's why they didn't. Why the establishment couldn't accept Bernie, because he was too radical. He would have enacted any of these changes.
They donate to the Democrats and they donate to the Republicans.
That's shaking the system to its core, bro. Like, these insurance companies, like, to really start over, you will literally have to start over. Like, it's not going to be pretty. Yeah, you got to break that shit down. Well, they could do it
incrementally, but you would have to have like caps. Like, it would. They could do it incrementally, but you would need such you would need so many votes, and you would need so many Congress people to reject that money in the first off. You would need
government intervention at a level that is just you know, you're right. People would have to reject that United Healthcare money, that money. They would have to reject it.
Those lobbyists, you have to reject that lobby money, the healthcare lobby, like the pharmaceutical, because it's all tied up together.
Mm-hmm.
Like, do you have to reject the money from those lobbies? It's like they need to reject the money from the Israel lobby, like the AIPAC. Like, they need to reject the money from these lobbies so that those politicians can do principled things for their people. That's, I don't know, not to get back into it, but I feel like that's why Kamala. That's why Kamala lost, man, because she had so much more money than Trump. Like, the money that they got was so much more, but it's not about the money. The people need help, and at least Trump would lie about it. At least he will lie and say
he did send out them stimmies, bro. Them stimmies was hitting when Trump was in, man. When we paid for it a couple years later, but them stimmies was in there, man.
I think if he didn't do a stimulus, it was a pandemic. Like, who doesn't do that? Who wouldn't have done that?
You're right. It was a drastic time, but I remember I checked my account one day. They were like, "Yo, you know we get a stimmy on Tuesday." I said, "We get a stimmy on Tuesday?" They got to check my account. It was like 5 G's extra in that joint. I was like, bro, I'm about to go to that. I'm about to go get me. I'm going to get some shoes. Niggas was taking vacations. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Like, they were redoing their house.
Like, but that's not even what I'm talking about. I'm talking about like the money, like not the money, physical money, but like changes in healthcare. Like,
yeah.
If they're like, yo, we're going to get universal, because Trump always says everybody's going to get healthcare.
Mm-hmm.
He doesn't say how or why or when. He's just like, everybody will be covered. Everybody will have healthcare. Nobody's going to be sick anymore. He'll just lie. He'll be like, nobody's going to die anymore.
No one's going to die. No one's going to be sick.
Medicaid's going to be free. It won't be free, but it'll be so cheap you won't believe it. It'll be unbelievable.
Which is why I said earlier, it's like it's silly for poor white Americans to think that Trump has their interest at heart. Trump is a capitalist. He is a rich man. You know what I mean? He has the interest of the elite at heart. You know what I mean? Like, it's
being one of them. Yes.
He's one of them. Yeah, so why would I do what I got to do for y'all? I'm going to do what I have to do for my class and my constituents. You know what I mean? Like, and you know, I get the sentiment. You want to make America great again and bring back jobs, and the whole tariff thing. You know, I saw a video of them breaking down the tariffs. Not to get too deep back into all this shit, but how like it'll hurt Americans in the beginning, but the point of it is to
send the message,
to establish American industries and to get jobs, to make it harder for imports to come in, so that way people will start to buy American-made products. I get the sentiment in it, you know. So But it sounds nice. It sounds nice, Trump. I want to see you. I want to see the results. I want to see. You want to buy into the sincerity because he's the president of the United States or the upcoming president, but he's a capitalist. I bet you he had more in common with Brian Thompson than with, you know what I'm saying? He's participating in the game that Brian Thompson was participating, that United Healthcare is participating in. That's what it is.
Remember, his whole thing was real estate.
Real estate.
Yeah, that's his scam.
Mm-hmm.
Right. He just makes a lot of money off of that.
Dr.
Buying property, renaming it, flipping it.
Yeah.
Selling it.
Dr. K says they didn't vote for him because of his policies, but because of how he made them feel about themselves. Racism, homophobia, xenophobia. Yeah, he related to him. But that's part of his showmanship. And I think him being in TV, in media before that helped. He knew how to appeal to. Somebody compared him to Reagan. I know Reagan was kind of the beginning of our time, but Reagan was an actor. So he knew how to act it up in front of the camera. And he knew how to appeal to people's sentiments. And I think Trump has that too. But
I think Trump has a more.
At the end of the day, he's still.
Trump is funny.
So
fucking funny ass. I hate that guy.
Yeah, he is funny. You gotta give him that.
I was watching an interview with him earlier, and oh my god, dude! Like, if he was a good guy, it would be great.
You gotta give that. He's entertaining.
He's entertaining, man.
Maybe more so the first time around. I think this term he's not going to be as entertaining. I think he might actually try to accomplish something. I think where Trump stopped being funny for me, remember that whole thing where he went to do the photo op with the Bible in front of the thing, and they were having all these protests in D.C., and he had the helicopter. Remember he threw the smoke bombs into the crowd to disperse them? That's where I was just like, wow, man, this is like some shit you see overseas, and they see it here so close to where we are in D.C. I mean, he's throwing smoke grenades into the crowd to disperse them to go do a photo op in front of a church. It's like, that's dictatorish. You know what I mean? Like, it's like, how can you support this guy after seeing that? He didn't give a shit about those people.
Remember, that was before January 6th.
It's wild. They had the helicopter that hovered low to disperse the crowd. That's when all those protests were going on. And yeah, man, it's wild, man. That shit looked like something you saw on TV. Like, you didn't see that here in the U.S., man. Like some brash, bravioso president who didn't give a fuck, who just wanted to get a photo op done. This is
that is Trump in a nutshell, bro.
Crazy.
Yeah.
We'll see. We'll see, man. If I'm Trump, or if Trump should have been on standby because that quote unquote assassination attempt happened to him a couple of months ago. But this Brian Thompson thing should put all of those elite on standby, bro. Like,
oh yeah, they're paying attention. Like they're on it. Like, dude, it's so crazy. Like, you just reminded me, man.
And you believe we
were this close from not having to deal with this nigga.
Mm-hmm. Well, I don't think Kamala would have been much better.
We wouldn't even have to have the discussion.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Or even if Biden had just, like, F Biden, real talk. Fucking fuck Biden. Like, he just, you heard he, like, pardoned his son.
I was just about to say that. He pardoned his son on the way out. So,
like, principles, like, no principles.
If I can do it, why not? Why not?
Well,
why wouldn't I?
Yeah. And I understand his logic, and I agree with it. Like, obviously, there's no fucking rules here. Like, decorum, that's out the door. What the fuck are we talking about?
Right,
I'll pardon everybody. Fuck. But he won't do the things that people are still, that like he won't legalize marijuana like he said he would. Like, he'll do other shit. Like, he won't, like he was supposed to just do his 4 terms and then not run. He just didn't do that. Like, I don't know what the fuck. He's just a rich
trust for the American political system is because we know that politicians openly lie to us to get elected. They tell us what they're going to do, and then they never do it. That
because we don't handle them accountable.
After term, we do allow it. Yeah, we do allow it sometimes. We don't put the pressure on them like we should. Yeah,
like our media companies, like the people who are supposed to put pressure on them, media. We all know the issue with media because they're corporations, just like the pharmaceutical company.
Money, man, money talks. Money talks, man. That's why Elon Musk can be as powerful as he is. He's never been elected to office, but he can enact change because he's very wealthy, you know?
Yep. So, that's why billionaires shouldn't exist. Always goes back to that.
We all know the root of the problem, bro. We all know the root. You have to take money out of politics, and it's not going to happen. I don't see it. I don't see it in the foreseeable future because money makes the world go round, and money drives economies. And, you know, the American economy, it's all about money, you know. That's why they had the massive bailout. We knew this back in 2008, you know.
Like we could literally have a depression, like a 40s style depression, and I feel like they would just raise interest rates again.
Mm-hmm.
And that's all it would be. They would just like, fuck, I don't know. Raise interest rates, I guess.
That's all they're going to do. Raise interest rates, I guess. Yeah, I get it. I get why they did it because nobody wants to go into a depression, right? You know.
Yeah,
it's like you kind of had to, but obviously the system ain't working, and it's like just kick the can down the road. Another 50 years, let's kick it down the road. You know, see what happens. I won't be around the next economy crash. You know, but it's so scary, man. Like all these it's so scary, man. It's just, you know. You would think most citizens of a country just want to live. They just want to have, we went over this so many casts, man. They just want to provide food for the kids and have adequate health care. And we don't care about Assyria and the politics between what's going on with this war, and we don't care. Most Assyrians or anybody in any other country, they don't care about the politics of America. They just want to live a good life and provide for their children. And obviously you have your radical extremists and all that, but
like I feel like Americans will be so much happier. Like you're right, we don't give a damn about international issues, right? But that's what they always throw into our faces to make us like
it's not our main drive,
Yeah.
But so do you consider Luigi Mangione, is he a terrorist? I know somebody, like, I saw that label on him, like on some article. He kind of committed a terroristic act.
Is assassination a terrorist act? You know what, here? The definition of terrorism, if I remember, is that it has to be a action that is politically motivated. So yes, I think it's I think he is a terrorist there's a specific definition. Hold on. But I know it has something to do with the political purpose. Terrorism definition says the unlawful use of violence and intimidation against civilians in the pursuit of political aims. Yeah. So yeah, I would argue he was a terrorist. I would say that makes sense. The unlawful use of violence, intimidation against civilians in the pursuit of political aims. Yeah.
Yeah.
So Robin Hood.
Why so much support for him? He's a terrorist.
What do you mean? Terrorists are heroes a lot of the times.
Yeah, I was about to say, I guess it depends on what spectrum you come from, right? Like,
hey, where what side you're on. Like,
I'm sure Al Qaeda wasn't bad to everyone. I'm sure they had some people who supported them, and just I guess it just depends on what side of the spectrum.
Like I think you argue like the rebels in Star Wars, are terrorists.
Definitely terrorists, yeah.
Yeah, they're terrorists. But like, hey, they're also the fucking heroes. That's whose side we're on. It's fighting the Empire, right?
Are you guys excited? I should have asked while Frank was here. You guys excited for that new Star Wars show that's coming out? I forget the name of it.
I thought it would be, but I'm not. I don't care.
Yeah, especially after what happened to the Acolyte.
Whoa. Claudine says he's not a terrorist. We have a lot of definition, and based on the CIA, he is not. I mean, okay. Maybe I'm just using the simple definition. All right, here. What is the CIA definition of terrorism? Interesting. That came right up. AI is listening. The international terrorist is the calculated use of violence or the threat of violence to attain political goals through fear, intimidation, or coercion. Yeah, political claims. It usually involves a criminal act, often symbolic in nature, and is intended to influence an audience beyond the immediate victims. I don't know. Okay, well, here, I think it's arguable that he did have political goals because it's pretty clear that his issue was with the medical industry. And the medical industry can only really be resolved politically.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, unless, I don't know, maybe he had a different, maybe if what Frank said that he thought that by killing this guy, he would actually change the system. And he would actually change UHC, then maybe act. Not.
Huh? He killed a CEO of a company. You know, there's not really any politics in that, right?
Well, you just kill a civilian. Well,
yeah.
I don't know.
I would classify him as a terrorist, but maybe, you know, definition wise, he's not. You know,
yeah,
he definitely committed a terroristic act. You know, shooting a man and shooting a man in broad daylight on a street in New York. You pretty much can't get any more terroristic than, I mean, especially a man who is at the level that Brian Thompson was. You know.
Okay. Say he was upset at the system, but he was not asking for specific item changes. Okay, maybe I'm projecting. Maybe I'm just like assuming because I have a view of what the solutions are that I'm assuming his view is the same as mine. So, you know, I could be projecting my politics onto him. I don't know what his politics are. So maybe, I don't know. Maybe he's not a terrorist. But if he was, I'm still fine with it. Like, I would argue that sometimes you got to be a terrorist.
Yeah, he's definitely a Robin Hood figure. You know, still a murderer, but he spoke up for a class of people who were underheard. And, you know, was Robin Hood a terrorist? I would say probably yes. Right?
Like, I mean, I would say well, I don't know. Did Robin Hood make specific claims?
If he went around and burned down a mansion of a wealthy person and stole all the money and gave it to the poor, that's a terroristic act. You know?
It's a criminal act. But, well, that's the thing. Like, if it were to be terrorist, he has to make a specific claim. I don't know of any political claims of Robin Hood. If I think about the Robin Hood story, his political aim was steal from the rich, give it to the poor. And maybe I never read the novel or the book, right? I'm just trying. I'm basing a lot of my Robin Hood knowledge based off the Kevin Costner movie back in the day. I don't really remember that much.
That was the real one. They had one with Russell Crowe like a couple years ago, but nah, the real one was Kevin Costner and
there was a new one too, Freeman. Wasn't there? Like one like 2022.
Yeah, it had Russell Crowe. Russell Crowe was in there.
Russell Crowe's in that one.
I think he was Robin Hood in that joint.
No. It was some young dude. And Jamie Foxx was in that one. The one with Jamie Foxx in that one.
I do remember Jamie Foxx. Yeah, because I think he was supposed to play the Morgan Freeman guy.
Yeah,
from, the Kevin Costner one. Kevin Costner was still the real guy. One. Yeah, he was the black guy. He was the token black guy. Yeah.
he was like Islamic. The black guy.
Yeah. Morgan Freeman was like Islamic and shit in there. Yeah. The Kevin Costner one was good though, man. That was good.
Yeah, that was like the definitive, so I don't remember. But also, like, I remember that one being a lot like some inheritance issues and some drama with the king, but like I don't remember him like making these.
And also, Robin Hood in that was also well off. He came from a castle. I think his family had gotten screwed over, but he wasn't poor. You know.
Yeah.
He was a well-to-do guy. So
Russell I did have one in 2010. I do not remember that one.
I do like that analogy. I like the Robin Hood analogy, man. He is kind of like a Robin Hood figure. You know, standing up for the little guy.
Yeah. Anyway, I'm hungry. I'm about to get some food.
Hell yeah. But yeah, man, it's been a good cast, man.
Yeah, good cast.
Definitely, man. We gotta do it again, man. It's gonna be a whole bunch of topics coming up. So
yes.
Yeah.
We're about to document and commentate on this country falling apart.
Dude, we pretty much
I'll try to be more optimistic, but
we pretty much documented the whole Trump first term. So now we got to start over. We got to start over now.
Man. Like, yeah, dude. Every time I see this dude, I'm just like, again.
When is inauguration? Is that January
6th?
Is this the 6th?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so yeah, I mean, it'll be sworn in. It'll be officially the president. So who's going to be sworn out? Is it Joe Biden or is it Kamala? Both?
Joe Biden. Joe Biden's president.
So he's still, well, yeah. I guess. We just haven't
resigned.
No.
I mean, he's competent enough to what do you call get his son out of jail. What do you call it? So yeah. January 20th.
Yeah.
All right.
Dope.
We gotta get Luigi out of there. we got
till January 20th to get Luigi out of there, man. So
no, we got one more mission.
Nah, man, that guy's done, man.
All right, let me chill.
You know, that guy's done. Yeah, I hate to say it, but he's a murderer. Like, you can't go around shooting people in broad daylight, even if they are CEOs of, you know, distrustful.
They need to put him on the Thunderbolts.
Yeah,
you got a particular set of skills.
You can't do that, man. It's against the law, buddy.
Yeah, man.
We still have to have law and order, bro. Like, you know, I know people, you know, like to shit on the police and everything, but we
least
have
for
to
normal
have order.
people.
Yeah.
Gotta have law and order for you normies.
Damn sure, man. All right, my brother. Yeah, man, it's been a good cast, man. Thanks everybody for joining us on the Intelligent Idea Talkers podcast, especially Dr. K, your most loyal supporter. Yeah, man.
We got 3 viewers. All right, guys.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Peace. All right, bro. Take care, man. Peace.
Welcome to the Intelligent Idea Topic